My wife cheated with my best friend.
Disgusting.
I, 27 male, met my wife, Sue, 27 female, in college when we were both 18.
You should sue her.
Sue her. We hit it off immediately and were saying, I love you within weeks. Classic. She pursued me and I was grateful she did. By the way, this comes from Any Imagination 9768. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Dakota.
And I'm Keon.
And we'll try to give our best advice, but we haven't experienced most of these situations ourselves. So if you have, let us know what you would do in the comments. But OP says, when her father passed away from pancreatic cancer during her senior year, I was there for her through everything. I had spent nights at the hospital so she wouldn't be alone. She called me her soulmate and said she didn't know what she would have done without me. I knew I was going to marry her, and I proposed 2 years after graduation. Life couldn't get better. I married the girl of my dreams, had a well-paying job, and both families loved us. My best friend Dave, 26 male, and I had what I thought was an unbreakable bond. I sense it's about to be broken.
By your wife.
Yoicks.
And him.
We'd known each other since 3rd grade, and he was the brother I never had. About a year ago, his wife passed away in a car crash, which broke him completely. He moved back to our hometown, but wouldn't engage with anyone. Since Sue had also lost a loved one, I asked if she could talk to him, thinking she might relate to his pain better. He definitely related, a little too much. That was my first mistake. We'd visit him daily, and Sue would spend hours at his place, even without me there. They went on hikes together, watched movies, and grabbed lunch. This was far more interaction than I'd intended, but Dave seemed to be improving. What made me initially oblivious was that Sue and Dave had never liked each other before. Sue always thought he was a douche because he bounced between relationships and cheated on his deceased wife.
Well,
Why are you friends with Dave?
that sounds like not the best of friends to have.
Sounds like, yeah, maybe like don't send your wife into the lion's den. Sue and Dave became inseparable. She started inviting him to things I'd planned for us as a couple. She began showing classic signs of infidelity, always on her phone, becoming distant, little to no intimacy, and coming home very late. When I asked who she was texting, she'd say it was a girlfriend. But when I asked to see, she became irritated and called me possessive. When I talked to Dave about how uncomfortable their friendship made me, he assured me nothing was happening and accused me of not trusting him or my wife. I was being gaslit. One day, Sue said she was going to her sister's for the weekend because she needed space from my accusation. Or maybe she's going to go make those accusations reality.
This is so unfortunate.
I called her sister to confirm, and while she was expecting Sue, Sue hadn't arrived yet. She'd left at 3 p.m. for a 4-hour drive, and it was now 10 p.m. Something told me to go to Dave's house, and sure enough, my wife's car was parked nearby. I went in through the back door, which I knew would open. I could hear my wife moaning as I quietly made my way through the house.
Maybe she's just watching her favorite sports team lose a game.
Oh,
Whoa.
no.
Oh,
Oh, no. The Cowboys lost to the Bears.
When I reached his bedroom door, I could see through the crack. My wife bent over his nightstand. I'll never get that image out of my head. I pushed the door open, and they both froze, staring at me.
While she was still bent over the nightstand.
You know what would have been a real power move is to do something like a tap dance routine.
What?
Yeah, you blow the door open and you just go.
Hey, guys.
I'm just helping her stretch.
They would truly.
Not know what to do about that.
They wouldn't know what to do.
I just walked away and got in my car. I could hear them scrambling and Sue screaming for me to stop, that she could explain.
I can explain.
I literally hate when people do that. Like in stories when they're like, I can explain. Like what? Go. I really want someone to just be like, okay.
She just goes, I can explain. So I came over. We started making out. I go upstairs. It continues. We get into bed. Yeah. What are you going to explain, girl?
That.
You go and explain.
My favorite is stop. What, you want to put on your clothes first?
Yeah, wait, sir, stop, hold on. I drove to a college friend's house and stayed there the past week. I can't eat or sleep. Both Dave and Sue have been calling along with family members. I told my family I was all right, but haven't responded to anyone else. This pain is unbearable. I don't know how someone I love so much could do this. Any advice would be deeply appreciated. And there is an update. But what do you think?
I would have not gone into the house in the room. I would have just been like, yeah, clearly you're cheating on me. I walked in, I heard the noise.
Yeah.
I would have just moved in silence.
Yeah, you just go, hey, I can hear you guys cheating up there. I'm going to head out,
Hey, knock
I don't
off
wanna
that
see it.
racket.
but I can hear you cheating.
I would have just moved in absolute silence and not exposed myself to traumatic imagery.
I would love to get the explanation, to see them on the spot. I'm
Yeah, like go. Okay, and see.
all right. I guarantee you, like, I didn't get this far. I didn't think you would stop and actually want to listen to my explanation of me cheating on you.
Sue sent me a long message. I know you need space and I'm the last person you want to talk to, but I feel like I'm going insane. Good. I never meant for this to happen. You're the last person I ever wanted to hurt. My relationship with Dave started innocent, but we connected deeper than intended.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely
Yeah, you
deeper.
did.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. A little,
Pun definitely
Look.
intended, Sue.
little deeper than intended,
deep.
huh?
Too deep. And things escalated. I won't lie and say this was the first time.
Oh!
We've had spicy sleep several times.
You
in the
should have
past month.
lied!
Stop. But it only turned physical recently.
What does that even mean?
What does that mean? Huh?
The rest was emotional.
Emotional spicy sleep. I have feelings for Dave that I won't deny, but they're nowhere near as strong as what I feel for you. I love you so much. No, you don't.
So why didn't you sleep with OP?
No, you don't. Don't question my love for you. It's real. No, it's not. What I did has nothing to do with you. That's true. It does have nothing to do with OP. Dave and I took advantage of your kindness. Please give me the chance to make this right. Please come home. I don't know what to make of this. I definitely don't know the person I married. As many suggested, I contacted a lawyer who seems motivated to help me come out financially whole. I still love my wife, but I don't know if I can ever get over this. I've received messages from Dave too, but don't want to read them. I switch between sorrow and rage constantly. Should I try reconciliation or end the marriage now? My family knows everything since Sue confessed to everyone. I've been away for over 2 weeks and the pain feels fresh. Every time I close my eyes, I see Sue and Dave together. Most are saying divorce, and I'd say the same to someone else. But things aren't black and white when you're living it.
Pretty sure it was pretty black and white what was happening on that nightstand.
Sorry, I thought I was going to sneeze.
Bless you.
Sue has been staying with her sister and went no contact with Dave. Who cares? She was cheating on you for a while and physically for at least a month, unless she's lying about that, which she could be. Her mother texted an apology for her daughter's behavior. Sue is in individual counseling. And there is a second update, but do you have any second thoughts?
Go ahead and break that off, brother.
Break that off.
Go ahead.
Don't be with her. She's been cheating on you. She doesn't love you. She may think she loves you, but cheating on your partner you've been married to for a while, not love.
You don't understand. The only reason I could do this to you is because I love you.
Because I love you so much.
I love you so much that I have to love the guy that you love.
But there is a second update. I took time off social media to reflect on my marriage and next steps. When I look back, most of our marriage was filled with happy memories, which made me want to find reasons to stay. But thinking about the cheating and how they gaslit me only brought me rage. The deeper I looked, the angrier I got. I'll never forget how angry Sue would get when I questioned where she'd been, or Dave's disgusted look when I asked if something was going on between them. The cheating was terrible, but the gaslighting was worse. It takes a special kind of person to lie so effortlessly. I remember one night she came home late, telling me how much she loved me and how she'd been thinking about me during the drive. I'm certain she came from Dave's because she wasn't wearing underwear. Girl, huh? Couldn't even put on the underwear? She had spicy sleep with both of us back to back, and I kissed her afterwards.
Oh.
This situation made me feel completely emasculated.
I'll see you in the gym, brother.
Rough. Sue kept sending emails with the same nonsense about how miserable she'd be without me.
Good.
And I hope you are. She even sent Bible verses on forgiveness. She's like, no, the Bible says you have to forgive me.
Just send back the Bible verse about infidelity.
I was
Yeah.
going to say, isn't one of the commandments literally...
One of the commandments is thou shalt not covet your brother's wife.
Thou shalt not bangeth my best friend.
A little known commandment. I started working again because staying busy helped me cope better. One day I received a letter from Sue discussing her individual counseling and underlying issues she'd discovered, mainly low self-esteem. She explained that the discrepancy in our attractiveness made her self-aware, and she wanted validation from someone other than me. Her sister had always been prettier, contributing to her insecurity. Even though I made her feel beautiful, she sought that validation elsewhere. She asked if we could try marriage counseling. I started divorce proceedings. Nice. The day she was served, Sue showed up at my apartment with the petition. We stared at each other and all the pain returned. She looked like she'd been crying and tried to hug me. I gently pushed her away, making her hysterical. She started shouting, asking why I was giving up so easily.
Damn, girl, it's because you gave it up so easily. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm sorry. What were you doing with Dave? Protecting the sanctity of our marriage?
You
No.
gave it up to Dave. She's like, you don't understand. I was just practicing for you.
She threw herself on my car hood when I tried to leave. So I relented and we went inside to talk. He's like, the only reason I'm talking to you is because you won't let me leave. She said she'd do anything to save our marriage, that she doesn't love Dave, and suggested a trial separation where I could date others while holding off on divorce. How about we do full-on trial separation where we start with the 7-week free trial and then we just continue because we forget to cancel the subscription.
Her level of refusal to accept accountability is disgusting and sickening.
Yeah. She suggested other things like a one-sided open marriage in my favor and even moving to another state or country. I asked her why him and why she only came back after I caught her. She sobbed, saying she felt guilty during the acts, but didn't know how to stop. You just go, hey, probably shouldn't be doing this because I don't want to cheat on my partner.
Yeah, you take a breath and you go, whoa, what are my values? Are they cheating on my partner?
Because it seems like that's what they are. Counseling made her realize she probably would have cheated eventually due to underlying issues. What? I asked if she loved Dave and she promised she didn't. I asked if she cheated before and she swore on her passed away father this was the first time. I asked who else knew and she hesitated before admitting only her sister knew a few days before I found out. Then I asked if there was anything else she was hiding. She started crying and asked me not to get angry. After more sobbing, she admitted she lied about when the physical relationship started. Wow, none of us are shocked.
It's almost like she's a liar.
None of us are shocked about that. It had been physical for almost a month, not just the week before I found out. Duh. She'd minimized it to spare my feelings. I asked her to leave and never come back. I told her I found a job in another state and would be moving once the divorce was underway.
Leave and never come back.
She cried and pleaded, but I threatened to call the police. A few days later, my mom called saying Sue was in the hospital. I visited her in the psych ward where she was sleeping. It hurts because I still love her and I'm just happy she's okay. I haven't been thinking about divorce given what's happening. My life is a disaster. It's been 8 months since my life became a nightmare and things kept getting worse. Sue got better after therapy, but I knew I couldn't stay. Yeah, don't let her own problems with mental health, make you think that you have to stay to help her when, she ruined your guys' marriage.
You are not responsible for that.
I'd never get over it and would harbor resentment for years. We agreed to divorce and she wanted minimal contact. The process was smooth and we divorced a month ago. I moved to the West Coast to start fresh and things were finally looking up. By the way, it's always looking up if you listen to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. But there is a little bit left to this story. Do you have any final thoughts?
Sometimes it be the ones closest to you.
So true. But that's not obviously any of your faults. And your friend sucks. And also maybe just be a little bit more wary about, who you're friends with. If you notice that your friend is like a serial cheater, cheats on his wife, who's now passed away, maybe not
Come on, dude.
the best person to be friends with.
Cheat on your wife?
2 betrayals.
Wacky. Best friends with wife cheater?
But there is a little bit left. Then Sue's sister called. Sue had suffered a stroke. She's almost completely immobile on her left side and can barely speak. I can't describe how devastating it was to hear, let alone how crushed I felt visiting her. She looked nothing like the person I knew and would cry whenever she saw me.
That is an insane turn of events.
Wow, that's really tough. The worst part is feeling like this is my fault, which is not. People say it isn't, but I sense hostility from her family when I speak to them. Her aunt cursed me out in front of everyone, and they just asked me to leave it alone and move on with my life. That's ridiculous. Like, I understand they are hurting. They're clearly very worried about their daughter, but to blame you, they're, projecting because she cheated on you.
If she didn't bang your best friend, she wouldn't have been in a position to be worked up enough to the point where she had a stroke.
I want to move on, but it hurts knowing how everything turned out. I haven't spoken to Sue since the stroke, and her family won't let me see her because apparently I caused her stress.
Whatever.
I don't know the full details because I don't have the right to know anymore. I can't seem to catch a break. And that is the end of that story.
Dang.
But Opie, it is not your fault. She caused her own stress by cheating on you. And that is a really difficult situation to be in. At the end of the day, the best thing for you is to leave her.
That's all you can do is try to move on.
Yep. I confessed my affair to my husband because the guilt was too much.
It was weighing me down.
I'm 27 and my husband is 26. We got together when he was 17 and I was 19. One of those popular boys I thought was straight, and even if he wasn't, I figured he wouldn't give an overweight guy like me a second glance. He was a jock and I was chubby, but somehow we made it work despite all the hardships.
So these are two dudes.
Two dudes.
Two dudes.
By the way, this comes from Deleted, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, his dad threatened to disown him when he found out about us. My boyfriend told his father how much he loved and looked up to him, how he'd even enlisted because he wanted to be like him. But being into men wasn't something he could change or suppress. Even though he loved his dad, he chose me. We got married 3 years ago and moved into our own place. We split chores, got along amazingly, and have a good spicy sleep life. We make decent money. He earns comfortable mid-5 figures, and with the 7-day security details he's taken once a month, he hits low 6 figures. Those week-long assignments leave me missing him badly, so I try to distract myself. One night, my friends and I went to a bar where I met Maddie, who's 19.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
At a bar.
Uh-oh.
And you're not in Britain land.
Uh-oh. Also, hope he's 27.
They're just talking.
He gave me a lot of attention, which confused me since I find it hard to believe anyone would find me attractive. We got spicy, and it went on for way longer than I'd like to admit.
Oh,
OP.
brother.
OP.
That man's not ripe
OP.
yet.
You suck.
You found an unripe man.
OP. You
Right.
suck.
He sucked.
Last week, watching my husband get excited about the plans we were making for when he returned from his next assignment made me spiral. After he left, I cried for 3 days because I felt like crap. You should. You should.
Because you were hitting the crapper.
Are you coming here for us to feel bad for you? Because I don't. You're a cheater. I cut things off with Maddie and decided to come clean, as you should. He came home yesterday before me. When I walked in, he was all smiles, cooking dinner. No!
Cooking dinner and then hearing bad news. Imagine cooking someone dinner and then immediately after hearing bad news.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. He rushed to greet me with a kiss, but I said we needed to talk. Ugh.
Oh, good. We have food here.
He kept kissing me, saying we'd talk after he got a minute to admire me. We sat down. He held my hands, squeezing gently, waiting for me to speak.
Oh, gosh.
When I told him about the affair, he didn't let go, just loosened his grip and nodded. Okay, he said. He got up, ate dinner alone, then locked himself in our bedroom.
He still ate dinner after that?
Well, yeah, he's hungry. He's hungry.
I could
Comfort
not.
food.
Yeah,
I
comfort
couldn't.
food.
No. If someone told me that, I want to throw up.
That's fair.
Probably, yeah. This morning when I woke up, he was gone with all of his belongings. He won't return my calls or texts. I deserve this. I spent the whole next day crying about what happened and how stupid I'd been. I downed a lot of vodka and passed out.
Dang.
This morning, I woke up to noise in the bedroom. When I opened my eyes, I saw my husband getting dressed. For a second, I was convinced it had all been a dream. I'd never cheated, and that grumpy look was just because he hadn't had his coffee and cig yet. But no, my reality was different. He told me I looked like a mess and to shower before we were late. He sarcastically ripped into me for buying the cheapest vodka, telling me to get my taste back since I still had access to our finances. When I asked where we were going, he gave me the most disappointed look. Did he F your brains out so good you forgot my brother's birthday party?
So, okay, hear me out.
Oh.
I think he's willing to get over this because he's still joking about it. Or is this petty joking?
I think this is petty joking.
I thought it was
Yeah.
where you're kind of going at him a little bit.
No, I think
You're going to get over it.
The thing is that I think right now it seems like he wants to maybe stay together, at least in the current moment. However, I don't think that he should, because he's clearly, rightfully so, very upset about this.
Yeah.
As I got up to shower, I noticed a small cotton ball on his arm. When I asked about it, he said his dealer was so kind to... I don't even know what that means. To give it to him after... Okay. Oh.
Yeah. Female hero.
Oh, okay, guys. Mentions of drugs.
Wow.
Trigger warning.
All right.
When I didn't react to his sarcasm, he'd explained he'd gone to the clinic to get tested. Very fair and smart.
Okay, so it was a joke.
It was a joke. Yeah,
It's a
guys,
joke.
it was a joke.
Oh, wow. He's really...
He's saying that he's getting tested for STDs.
So this is
Okay,
how he
great.
copes, everyone, with jokes.
Yeah.
We went to his brother's birthday party. My husband is the second of 4 boys. The oldest is 31. The youngest just turned 17. He's close with all of them, and his niece always says he's her best friend. Watching him play with her broke me even more, knowing I'd never see him as a father to our children. And that's your fault.
Yep.
That's your fault. Throughout the party, he put on a perfect act, talking to me, arm around me, smiling with those loving eyes he'd always have before I confessed. It was just a backyard barbecue, and after 3 hours, we went home. Sitting in our living room, I asked where he'd been the day before. He said he stayed in a hotel, went for a walk, got ice cream and an energy drink, and then sat on a bench listening to music and smoking. Then he looked at me. I was alone. Didn't have anyone with me in there. I knew what he was getting at. I asked if he had any questions about me. The only thing he wanted to know was whether I'd done this during his 5-month training deployment. I told him I hadn't. After a short silence, I asked if he wanted a divorce. Of course you'd want that, he replied. The streets are more fun than these 4 walls with me. I tried explaining that wasn't what I meant, but midway through, he gave me his typical, I was being half sarcastic look. Then he asked if I didn't find him attractive anymore. That made me tear up. I told him I found him very attractive, that he'd been the most amazing husband anyone could ask for, and this had nothing to do with his looks or personality or how he treated me. This was all on me for being a total idiot. I don't think you get to just say you're an idiot. I don't think you get to betray your partner who has been nothing but good to you and then just say, oh, I'm an idiot. You didn't do it because you were stupid. Like that, I think that gives away too much.
I will say, as a man, and I can speak to this because I'm a man and you're a woman and you know nothing about this.
Dang.
I
Where is that?
I was going to say, sometimes you think with the wrong head and you do idiotic move because you're just thinking with your wiener head rather than your brain head.
Sure.
So you can be an idiot, but I agree. I
Yeah.
think you should add more words to idiot that you are.
I just don't think, I think that it like lets you off the hook. You know, It's like, oh, I just wasn't thinking. That's why I did it. It's like, no, you can't get off that easily. He said he wasn't planning on divorcing me just yet. Dude, no, divorce him. He was too embarrassed to tell his father after fighting tooth and nail for that man to still see him as his son, someone who'd grown up playing rugby his whole life, someone my husband loved dearly. He didn't want his mother to have a tainted image of me either, so he was planning something. He just needed time to figure it out.
That's sweet.
No. I asked what would happen until then. He said we'd have a marriage of convenience. I could continue living the life he provided, an even better one since he'd been taking more details for significantly higher pay, and he'd keep up the charade of being a happily married man in front of his family. I could sleep with whoever I wanted because spicy sleep was something I wouldn't be getting from him. Good. I asked if this was his way of saying he'd also sleep around. Shut up, OP. Literally shut up. You don't get to know. Shut up. He said his hand worked fine, and if he wanted someone else, he wouldn't deny himself the same freedom he gave me. When I asked if I'd be taking the couch, he reminded me of our rule. No matter how mad we got, we never slept apart. I don't know what's going on here. I brought up how he locked me out 2 days ago, and he said he'd unlocked it before bed. I just hadn't checked. In our bedroom, I noticed him checking me out, those same eyes he'd get when making a move. But instead, he went to the bathroom and returned in sweatpants and a t-shirt. He usually can't sleep in clothes at all. That small detail hit me hard. Before sleep, I told him I loved him. He paused, then said, I love you more. What is going on? He turned away and I spooned him, something I'd never done before. I'm taller than him and holding him felt strange, like I was suddenly the protector. I kissed the back of his neck. I wish you hadn't told me, he whispered. I would have been happier not knowing I was being made a fool. What is going on?
I don't know. I think
Leave
he's trying
him.
to take the high road and be like the
Leave
bigger
him.
person.
I hate this.
He's just trying to kill him with niceness.
I hate this. He fell asleep in my arms. I stayed awake crying, realizing I wanted to be better to undo the damage I'd caused. I would keep fighting for us until he told me it was too late. And there is an update. I freaking hate this. I want them to break up.
He's taking the high road, trying not
Divorce.
to seem like the villain, but he's thinking of something. But he's thinking of something to do to
Yeah, I think maybe he's planning to
He's
get
planning,
divorced,
he's
but
planning.
he's just like getting
making
everything in
it
order.
seem everything's good. We're still
Yeah.
in love. Everything's all right.
Yeah.
And then you're about to get hit because you broke his heart,
He broke
and
his
he's
heart,
not going to take that
and he didn't deserve it.
like it's nothing.
Update. A lot happened today while I was at work. My first priority was scheduling a therapist appointment, talking to my husband about marriage counseling, and starting to rebuild our life from the ground up. I got home before he did, arms full of groceries since I planned to make him dinner. 4:30 came and went, odd since he usually gets home around then. He finally arrived around 5:40 on FaceTime with his youngest brother. His brother was telling him how he'd been up since 6 a.m. waiting for Playboi Carti's album, which finally dropped 6 hours late.
Ooh, and he's definitely going to be upset with it because it wasn't that good.
He encouraged my husband to listen to it, but my husband said he had, and it was but. His
Like I
brother
said-
said, put OP on the phone. I want his opinion. And my husband replied, you think OP has the right to disagree with me in my own house? When his brother said, of course he does. What? My husband shot back, yeah, if he wants to camp in our backyard. Dude, this is so unhealthy.
Ooh, this
This
seems
is so
very
unhealthy.
controlling too. Now he's going to control you.
It baffled me how he could keep up this act for so long. If he wasn't a soldier, he would have been an actor. After dinner, he was doing the dishes when I poured myself some vodka. He immediately poured it down the drain along with the entire bottle. With hurt in his eyes, he said booze was destroying our marriage.
Yikes.
I think that cheating destroyed your marriage. He gave me 3 options: see a therapist, check into rehab, or sign divorce papers by Monday. I told him I had planned to suggest therapy anyway. He said it was about time I started thinking. Then he laid out all the times he'd had to babysit me while I was wasted, how he avoided drinking at events because he knew he'd have to drive us home, and how I always turned to booze in stressful times. He said he'd dropped hints for years but avoided being controlling. Looking back, he regretted not putting his foot down sooner. I suggested couples therapy, but he refused. We had to fix this ourselves. I told him how scared I was of losing him, of ruining his life. He said I hadn't even tried to build a life. Duchess Cassandra says what I'm thinking. I'm confused. Did OP have a drinking problem he hadn't mentioned? That's what I'm saying.
I think so. I think
Oh,
so.
well, Nina Nilsson says, well, OP blamed alcohol for cheating, so I see the point. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
Then he grabbed my laptop and opened the novel I started writing in the summer, still stuck on page 60. He asked how I planned to be a writer without writing. I told him I had no motivation, and he said drinking myself to sleep was the reason. He made me sit down and write while he watched me.
That's okay. All right.
What is going on? I wrote a flashback scene of the main character's first kiss, a recreation of our own. He read it and asked if I'd really seen him as out of reach back then. I said yes. He called me a dumb butt for missing all of his flirting. I said I thought he was joking. He asked if I was serious about therapy. I promised I'd start Monday. He said he still wanted me, didn't want to throw away a decade together, and wanted to rebuild. He asked if I'd like to go to that fancy restaurant that opened last summer. I said yes, and he said he'd make the reservation tomorrow. It was getting late, so we moved to our bedroom. He went to shower while I wrote on my laptop. He came back wearing just a towel around his waist, and I couldn't take my eyes off him. I missed his touch more than ever. I hadn't been able to love him since before he left for that week. He lay in bed, saying his back was unaliving him. I put my laptop aside and told him to lie on his stomach. I massaged him for about an hour. Neither of us said a word. When I finished, I kissed his back and moved away. He thanked me as he covered himself with a blanket. He stared at me as I continued writing. When he said he was going to bed, I said goodnight. I love you, he said, and it made me freeze. I wanted to throw my laptop away and kiss him so badly. I felt like he wanted it too, but I was scared of making that move. I told him I loved him too, and we wished each other good night. I'm writing this as he snores next to me right now. I feel like I have a clear shot at this now. Getting my husband back is my priority. There's a second update.
Dude,
I
this
don't
is
like-
not going
I
to
don't
work
like you.
out because 1, you betrayed him, and 2, he's repaying you back by being very controlling.
There's a second update. The morning felt slow, probably because I was anticipating our date. My husband was heading to the gym, so I made him sandwiches and sent him on his way. He came back, showered, and did chores, washed both our cars while I took care of the garden. When it was time to get ready, I felt butterflies in my stomach. Just watching him get dressed made my heart skip beats. He looked so handsome. At the restaurant, I told him he could drink since I'd be driving home. He said he wasn't in the mood for drinking, so we both had... What?
Spicy flour.
What? You guys are insane. He was excited to try some exotic curry, and I insisted he get something else with it. Something more suited to his taste buds. What are you talking about?
Talking about the Coca-Cola.
But he's always been stubborn as a mule. So naturally, I had to finish my meal and his because he didn't like it, then waited for the burger he ordered. As he put it, sushi is the furthest he'll go with unfamiliar food. We talked for hours, reminiscing about our past, friends we made and lost. He went on about ongoing drama between him, his best friend, and another guy in their friend group who was clearly a bad fit from the start. The only red-pilled dude in an otherwise open-minded group. And I hope you guys will be open-minded and listen to more full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. But there is a little bit left to the story. Do you have any final thoughts?
Seems like the husband likes where this is because he can guilt you into being a submissive partner
Yeah,
and do whatever he wants with you now.
I hate this. Break up. OP's writing this like it's cute.
Yeah.
And even in the process of like actually writing it, like this is not just recounting events. Like OP's actually trying to write it in a certain style so
Mhm.
that it's more cutesy. And I still hate it. I maybe
Yeah.
hate it more. Break up. Divorce.
Weird. I don't like it.
The conversation finally shifted to us. He asked how I was feeling, but I didn't want to dwell on that. I wanted to know what he was feeling. He said he was angry at himself and blamed himself for letting things get this far. I told him there was a zero fault on his part. He asked what I'd do if the roles were reversed. Before I could even think, he said whatever I was thinking was wrong because I'd never been cheated on, so I had no idea what turmoil I'd caused. He said when he was younger, he always claimed he'd never stay with a cheater, but times had changed. The situation was different. The betrayal was harsh, but he understood I regretted it, which was why he was giving me another chance. That, and because I came clean instead of him finding out on his own. I started to apologize, but he stopped me, saying what's done is done, and we needed to stop looking back and move forward. Needless to say, we made out on the couch for about an hour.
Okay, this was totally fanfic. I don't even believe that this was real.
I don't believe it's real. I don't want to believe it's real.
Someone just had a good time.
I want to believe that it's
writing.
fake.
That's
They
wild.
made out for an hour and that's where he ended. Of course he's a writer.
I don't
Of course
like
that's
that.
where he's going to end it.
I don't like that.
Why?
You guys need a divorce.
My girlfriend confessed her betrayal after lying both to me and her affair partner.
She's a double liar.
So my girlfriend, we'll call her Audrey, and I met in high school. We started dating in college. We both came off brutal breakups, and we kind of gravitated towards each other in the moment.
A trauma relationship.
I love her deeply, but our relationship has been tough for sure. We both dragged a lot of baggage, and our relationship is made of alternating rocky and smooth patches. By the way, this comes from Jump Punter, and if you want us to make your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Carly.
I'm Keon.
And I'm Angie.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do. Let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, so she got accepted to a fairly prestigious coding school in April. I actually planned on applying to it, but received a job offer I couldn't refuse. She had just been let go from her job. I encouraged her to apply instead, and she got in. Thing is, she has a ton of debt from school and unpaid credit cards. So she had no money, and her credit score was garbage. Her parents refused to help, so I co-signed the loan with her, about $14K, and I paid a $2,000 deposit to get her into classes, and about $140 a month as part of the loan agreement. All in, I've spent a little over $2,500 for her. I've also let her live in my house for free, and I've been buying her birth control and other prescriptions, and all her food, her shampoo, you name it. Over the summer, she started to get a little weird. They're all red flags now. But at the time, she always had an excuse and nothing seemed particularly amiss. She changed the password on her phone, was being aloof, quick to get annoyed, stuff like that. Now, the last few months or so, she's been driving into the city where her coding school is, which is about a 20-minute drive from my house, and staying there for days on end. I'll call the town Houston. This isn't Texas, FYI.
Houston, we're about to have a problem.
She kept telling me that gas was getting expensive and she gets so much done while she's down there that it made sense. Some other people in her class had a house together and she said she would be staying with them. It started to be a problem because she would just go silent for 48 hours at a time, never returning texts or calls. We would fight about it when she finally came home, and she would say things like, "I know, it's not okay, I'm sorry, I'm terrible, it won't happen again." And then it would happen again.
Ah, the good old actions speak louder than words.
Yeah.
But we're only just getting words. Mm.
We also live in a state with legal devil's lettuce, and she started smoking devil's lettuce all the time. Within a few months, she went from rarely smoking to smoking multiple times a day. Wake and bake, smoke before bed, smoke to do homework. I did it with her a bunch, but only because she would ask. I hardly initiated it. She kept getting distant. Like I mentioned above, when she would come home, she would sleep until 3 p.m., come down, get breakfast, go back to sleep, wake up, spend an hour getting ready in private, then pack her stuff up and go back to Houston to work on stuff. She also refused to have spicy sleep with me. I think we've done it twice since April. She kept saying she wanted to have spicy sleep with me, but didn't want to actually have spicy sleep with me. A moment of hubris read it, but I'm a fairly good-looking guy. I hit the gym a lot. I'm in good shape. I think I'm spicy-relatedly attractive. Audrey kept telling me that her antidepressants were unaliving her libido, and I bought another prescription for her to counteract it. It didn't work. I didn't like that part of the story, but it's okay. We'll keep going. She kept telling me, "Well, I wanted to do it yesterday, but I was on my period." Or, "Well, I wanted to, but you were already asleep, so I didn't." It got to a point that I said I didn't want to hear about her intentions because they didn't mean anything to me anymore. I think you can tell that we were having issues, but I thought they were temporary and we were working through them. I thought the stress of the class was pushing her to her limits we hadn't experienced. But it's been 6 years.
6 years? My guy, what are we doing?
We've had way worse issues before, and I thought we were working on it. I wasn't particularly satisfied with our relationship, but I thought maybe if I could hold out, she could get a job after she graduated her school, get some money, chip away at her debt, feel fulfilled professionally, maybe help curb her depression, and I could get my old Audrey back. Depressed Audrey has been a real hassle, but I love her. I wanted to make it work. I didn't want to abandon her just because it got hard. About 1.5 years ago, I broke it off with her because she was showing signs of codependency. For those who don't know, it's the person who derives all their personal value from another person. So she only feels pretty if I tell her she's pretty. She needs a person to validate her existence, etc. The manifestation of those feelings are nothing you do is ever good enough, they'll always find something you could have done better, and nag at you and make you feel guilty for not doing more for them. They need to spend every waking second with you. Anytime you spend away, they'll resent you for it and believe that time is for them.
It's a very energy vampire-esque situation.
Yeah, that sounds even beyond just like codependency.
Whoa,
That
100%.
sounds well beyond that.
Are we appointing this? Is like this being brought up of like, how can we change this? Or are we just letting it, just allowing this to happen? Because if you're just allowing this to happen, like, oh, she'll figure it out eventually. You too are being an a-hole to yourself of just like not addressing the problem in the room. You're just like, she's depressed. She says she's depressed. I'll let her be depressed and like she'll figure it out after this.
I mean,
time
she is
frame.
trying stuff. She's on antidepressants and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's see. It was driving me crazy, so I broke it off and told her that the depression was getting too severe for me to handle. I needed space, and she needed to try and work on her crap on her own. She went to therapy, was put on antidepressants, admitted that she knew what she was doing was wrong, but the depression drove her to badger me and pick fights with me and crave more from me no matter how much I gave. I thought, she's working to fix it, why can't I? So we got back together. It's been a year and a half of spicy sleep and cuddling and dates and movie nights and planning our future, couple stuff. This is important because she mentions it later. Now to Labor Day. She had left Sunday night to go to Houston like she usually had been. Her last words to me before she left were, "I'm almost done." She knows I've been frustrated with how much time she's spending away. The plan was that she would get a sweet job, we would move to San Francisco, and I could quit my job or work remotely and she could take care of me because I have quite literally been taking care of her for 6 years. I kept calling myself her future stay-at-home boyfriend. I was obviously planning to get my own job, but I digress. She asked me to walk her to her car and puckered up for a kiss, then left. The next day is Labor Day. I texted her asking if she had class today. No reply. Then I sent her a Reddit link that was of a hedgehog yawning because she's always wanted a hedgehog. Then a couple hours later, I get this message. "Hey, I am in love with someone else. I need to keep yours and my relationship strictly business, the loan stuff. If you need to talk about it, we will. In person only, please, but not today." She sent the text to the wrong person? Is that what happened?
I'm assuming it was the wrong person.
It's hard to describe, but my heart imploded when I read that. 6 years, all the ups and downs, all the time she told me I was the only one she could ever rely on, and all I get is a text? I called her, she didn't pick up. I texted back, "What the F?" She said, "Or we can talk about it over text." I said, "What are you talking about? Is this serious?" She said, "It is." I said, "Who is it?" She said his name, and after a quick Google search, it turned out to be a guy in her class. The class I told her to take and the one that I paid for.
Oh, so she wasn't.
So it
she
was for OP.
It was for OP.
What's the loan stuff?
What do you mean?
I guess the class loans to pay for the
He
classes.
paid. He's paying.
I didn't
for her
realize
class.
that they had like a loan deal there.
No, yeah, it was just like, I'll pay for your class, but just like pay me back. Again, it was like
Gotcha.
about 2,500.
Dang.
Dang, Houston, we have a problem.
I then asked, "Have you been sleeping with him?" She said, "Of course." Not going to lie, this one hurts. Of course. Like, duh, it's the simplest thing in the world. I said, "I don't even know what to say. How could you?" Then I told her to come get all her stuff out of my house and that it would be in the yard. She said, "We broke up over a year and a half ago. How could I what?" I said, "This is kind of BS to do over a text." She said, "It's not BS. I'm coming to get my stuff." Does she think that they're still broken up?
I don't know.
Well, Reddit, she never got her stuff. It's sitting in my garage, and she's supposed to stop by after her class today to get it. I called her several times during this. She refused to answer.
She's probably with the other guy, and she's like,
Yeah.
"Ugh, this guy just won't leave me alone. This guy sucks. OP sucks because he just won't leave me alone." OP, I wouldn't even not have. I would be like, "Oh, your stuff? You're not coming to get your stuff yet?" On the street.
Yeah. She stopped answering my texts after that. I assumed this has been going on since the summer. I am disgusted. I'm angry. I feel played and used for free money, free housing, free food, and free prescriptions. I have a text from last Tuesday, 6 days prior, where she said, "Eee, I love and miss you." Last Thursday, 4 days earlier, I have a text where she said, "Hi, hi, 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 hi," like she was excited to see me and talk to me. Then Monday, this crap.
That's how they get you.
That's how they get
That's
you.
how they get you. They're like, they're gonna catch you
Honestly.
off guard. They're like, "Oh, I love you so much. Let's plan our lives together." And then 3 days later, they're like, "Sorry, I've been seeing somebody else. I love them."
Insane. Yeah. I sent her an email telling her I wanted off the loan. I want my $2,500 back for the class and get her stuff out. She said she was coming today to get her stuff. She's working on the loan and said she'll pay me back as soon as she can. Reddit, I don't know what to do. I'm angry. I'm mourning the loss of my relationship. I came to a realization that the person I knew and fell in love with is gone. She was replaced by this monster. She saw an opportunity at a better life, and she took it. But she'll get a new life with a new boyfriend, with a sweet job, and move to a beautiful place. And it was all courtesy of my bank account. Well, she better pay you back. My friends have been super supportive during this, telling me that they don't even know who this person is that could do this stuff, that they thought she was being really weird the last time they saw her. She is a completely different person now. I'm sorry if this was a little rambling. My ultimate question is, am I missing something? Am I crazy? My friends are in shock about how messed up this is. They've asked their friends who don't know either of us. They think it's unbelievable. Yet it's happening to me right now. Is there a side of this that I can't see because I'm too close? Her texts are so nonchalant, invalidating, and negating the last year and a half, pretending like it didn't happen, like we weren't together. She was living at my house. We slept in the same bed. Of course, she's sleeping with him. Like, what else would I expect? That I don't deserve a face-to-face conversation about any of this, or even a phone call? Edit, I also know this isn't personal finance, but some advice on my options with the loan and money stuff is always welcome. Comments from OP. So I've gotten some sentiment of cut all ties and also enter into an agreement with her to get my money back. My experience with her thus far in life has been that she would be good on her word for money, but now it seems her word isn't worth much. At the end of the day, my parents are my rock and told me not to worry about money. If I could just give her stuff back, walk away from the $2,500 and cut contact with her, shouldn't I just do that? Oh, get your money back. My worst case scenario is I have to pay the $15,000, which I could do and probably sue her for it, but it's in her best interest to pay the money back too, right? I guess I'm wondering if you guys think it's more important to get my money back or get her the F out. Keep in mind that $2,500 is not inconsequential. I put most of that on a credit card for her. I have about $5,000 racked up from all the expenses for her from the summer, and I kind of get paid like crap. But I suppose a lesson like this is priceless. No.
This is no.
100% you get that money back, and I take your small claims if you have to.
Yeah, 100%. OP, get your money up, not your funny up. What are you doing?
Commenter 1, I'd blow up her little world and tell the dude that she's been cheating on both of you. I bet you she lied and told him you're an ex. She probably fabricated this whole story about you and her. I would tell him the truth for sure, and then she will come back to you after he finds out what's really been going on and rejects her. The money you gave her is pretty much gone. No way she will repay you. You're kind of screwed on the loan cosign. I'd consult a lawyer about that for sure. OP says, I also thought that maybe she didn't let him in on this whole thing and he thinks I'm a crazy ex. But the dude is a ghost. His social profiles have no pictures and they haven't been updated in months. No Facebook specifically.
That's also creepy. That this guy has 0 socials in 2015. Crazy.
Yeah. Someone replies, figure out a way to get in touch with him. Get his phone number, message his account, send a letter, send an email to his school email account, which should be easy to figure out. Obviously, she was lying to both of you. Send him all the evidence and say she's obviously going to try to twist this to make me sound like a psycho ex. So here's all the evidence. You can believe what you want. Just know that this girl robbed and cheated on me for years. Someone replies, print that crap. Wait outside for her class to finish. Walk up, hand it to him. Honestly?
At this point, you can be as petty as you want because this is some insane stuff.
OP does say, I don't even know what he looks like. She was very careful not to tell me about specific people from her class. She avoided telling me about what she did down there or who she was with or where she was staying. I just trusted her and thought it didn't matter because the class was only 6 months and these people would be out of her life soon anyway. And we have an update.
Oh, I like that opening of the next update.
Yeah. But you guys have to wait to hear it.
Yeah, talk to a lawyer for sure because she, again, from what we've gotten from your ex, OP, she's a person of a lot of words but 0 actions. So if she said, yeah, I'll pay you back, come on, that's just words.
Yeah.
I feel like you gotta get this solidified and cemented somewhere where you at least get the money that you paid for her for at least a class back. See if you can get anything else back. Because, boy, oh boy, this is going to cause you some emotional stress and turmoil.
Update. Some crazy stuff happened. I spent a long time thinking about how to frame this post. As with most things in my life, the situation is not black and white. A lot of crap from our past that I thought we had moved on from got dredged up from the deep. It will be impossible to frame the update without background. I'll give the update of what happened, then try and provide some context after for those who care. So, to the update. Turns out my original post made its way to the guy she's been seeing.
So he has a Reddit, but he has no like profile
That's
pictures.
a bigger red flag.
All right, this guy's kind of quirky.
I will call him Colin. I got a direct message saying, "This is Colin," and I instantly knew it was him. As I didn't even use a fake name in my original. He said a friend of his saw the post. Okay, so Colin does not have socials.
Gotcha.
A friend of his saw the post and recognized some of the text messages Colin was telling him about. Colin said he read my post, and if we wanted to talk, we could. So I gave him my number, and he called me. Audrey had been lying to Colin this whole time about her current relationship with me. He figured out she had been lying to him from my post. I clarified that she was definitely in a relationship with me. She lived with me and we had been having spicy relations 2 weeks ago, etc. Audrey told Colin I was an ex, we had broken up a year and a half ago, and we were still just friendly. Every time she was at my house, she told him she was at her mom's house. She had told me she was staying with a female friend in her class whenever she was in fake Houston. It was weird. I told him I wasn't angry at him. Even if he had known all about me and Audrey, it's not his job to uphold the sanctity of our relationship, it's Audrey's. He knew nothing about me, though. The reason the text messages were so confusing is that he looked through her phone on Labor Day and saw messages from me that were a little too cutesy to just be a friend. Obviously, because as he now knows, I was more than just a friend. So from his point of view, I'm this ex-boyfriend who's getting a little too friendly with his girlfriend, and he made her send me those messages. That's why they made no dang sense. He was staring over her shoulder, threatening to break up with her if she didn't do it. So the only reason she did break up with me at all, and did it over text, was because he made her. Those texts to an ex-boyfriend of 18 months make total sense. But from my point of view, as a current boyfriend, they were straight crazy. He mentioned that she was sitting by the front door, the text typed up, and hesitating with her thumb over the send button for much longer than he would have liked. So that was sweet of her, I guess. The crappy thing is that I found out that they've been sleeping together since May, which is less than a month after the class started. I can't tell you how much of a blow that was, to know that she was lying and manipulating me and this other guy all summer. Reddit, I can't convey how angry I am. To know that she was having spicy sleep with this guy for days on end and would come home and lie to me that her libido was gone because of her antidepressants and showed me no love, no spicy related contact. But she got hers in fake Houston. All the times she ever told me that she would never cheat on anyone because she knew how she felt and that she would never want to put someone through that. How if there was ever another person, she would tell me before anything happened so that I wouldn't have to be cheated on. The hypocrisy crushes my soul. She made me feel bad all the time. It's so obvious when I look back. I like to say things in funny accents and make pervy jokes and say dumb dad jokes.
Don't we all? Don't we all?
And she would legitimately snap at me. Stop it. You're annoying me. Cut it out. Shut up. Rude. She spent months making me feel bad, just being myself. Then goes off and cheats on me, consistently, repeatedly, with the same guy, falls in love with him. She spent months living in my house, eating my food, going to school on my dime, making me wait hand and foot on her, requesting food, asking me I'd take her out to dinner, getting angry if I didn't want to cuddle because it hurts my shoulder, texting me she missed me, texting me she loved me, told me she would be done with school soon and we could start a new life together in San Francisco, and she would get a sweet coding job and take care of me and our life would be amazing. And then she would drive off to fake Houston and have spicy sleep with Colin. For 5 months, she did this to me. Turns out she was telling Colin about their fantastic future in San Francisco together too. Colin told me that Audrey had mentioned she was going to her mom's house to pick up some stuff. In my original post, I mentioned she was coming yesterday to pick up her stuff from my house. He said he would like to come over with her so we could all sit down and talk together. My buddy came over just to be a third-party witness to everything. They showed up together, and she got out of the car. It was obvious she had been crying.
For who, though?
She looked really upset. He came up, and we shook hands. As per some advice I got, I wrote a crude contract that just said, I'm Audrey, I owe OP $2,500, and I take full responsibility for the $16K left in loan, and made her sign it. Colin and I sat there and talked as she moved all her stuff into her car. It was awkward for sure, but Reddit, I think he's a cool guy.
I was going to say, they're going to get drinks after. They're like, you know what? She sucks. We leave her. You and I are going to be buddies. We're going to go get drinks.
Yeah, it could.
And they became best friends.
And he's just collateral damage in this whole thing. We kind of exchanged notes about things we had noticed, what she was saying to both of us, where she told us she was at when she wasn't with us, things like that. Again, super awkward. She's silently moving her stuff, and she has a lot of stuff. She effing lived here. And we're just kind of talking crap about her. We then go inside, I ask for my key back, and I ask if this was the first time she's cheated on me like this, and if there's been anyone else. She said Colin was the only one. I asked what exactly her plan was for all of this. She said she didn't have one. She was just winging it. She didn't talk much after that, and Colin didn't talk much either. I kind of vented at her. It was probably a million times worse because Colin was there than if I only saw her by myself. She eventually told me that she resented me for stuff I did in the past, and that she could never really get over it. She was so afraid that she couldn't make anything of herself without my support that she couldn't leave me. So I said, to be clear, you're telling me that for the last year and a half, you've just been using me for my money. And she said, yes. The only other thing of value she said was that she was sorry that this happened. She knew
No,
what
she
she was.
isn't. She isn't sorry.
Right.
No. She's trying to save face, but girly pop.
Yeah.
Just
we'll
own
be
up
on
to it.
that.
You suck. Move along. Bye.
Bye. She knew what she was doing was wrong, but she did it anyway. She said she was sorry she wasn't strong enough to tell me she didn't actually want to be with me sooner. She basically sat there silent throughout the whole rest of it, saying a couple things here and there. I think it was a deer in the headlights thing. She got caught and had no idea what to do or say. She was completely unprepared for this moment. For those with the justice, here are a couple of my one-liners.
Hey, yo.
I almost had a brain aneurysm on Monday when I found this out. You have no idea what this did to me. I was your rock for years. I was the only one who stood by your side when your friends abandoned you, when your parents didn't support you, and now you just threw me away.
That one was better.
You're the one who did this bad thing, and you'll have to live with this the rest of your life. You went from 2 boyfriends to 0 in 2 days. There you go, OP. You got to sleep in this guy's bed the last 2 days together. I slept here all alone.
This is more sad about you, my guy,
Yeah.
than her. I don't think she cares anymore. She was ready. She's been moved on.
She kept sticking to this story that we've been broken up for 1.5 years. I told her that was children's logic. She broke up with me 1.5 years ago to work on some of her issues. But we got back together in a couple of weeks. It was always just a break.
It was just a break, Rachel.
Okay, Chandler.
It wasn't Chandler.
Okay, Joey. Who's the other one?
Ross.
Okay, Ross.
Ross is the one who says they're on their break. Wow, what a Friends watcher you are.
Yeah, I didn't really watch Friends. At the time, I asked her that because she broke it off with me. She should ask me to be her boyfriend. I only realized recently that she technically never did that, and I think she's been hiding behind this loophole like a technicality. I told her this isn't a court of law. There were no loopholes. She doesn't get to sleep in my bed with me for 18 months and pretend we're not a couple when it suddenly becomes convenient for her. Like I said, she said it 2 or 3 times that we have been broken up for 1.5 years and that I'm not always supportive, etc. I told her that if she tried to F me on the money, I would sue her, and she got snotty and said she wouldn't do that. I noticed her codependence seemed to have been getting better during the summer. I thought maybe school had given her a purpose, that maybe she was coming out of this depression thing all these years. I now realize that the reason her codependency seemed to get better is that she had transferred some of it to Colin. I feel really bad for Colin. When we spoke, it was to point out various times he noticed her sketchy behavior. He also noticed her change the passcode on her phone. He's a less trusting person, though, and explained how he wanted to know why she did that. He noticed that Audrey was ignoring him when she was with me, etc. He mentioned how he's been in a situation similar to this before, how he seems to get totally screwed over by people, and he has trust issues. He really had no idea what was going on, and she had the wool pulled over his eyes too. He's an innocent bystander in all of this. He also broke it off with her. I want to take a moment and say that a piece of me loves Audrey, and always will. A piece of me hates her now too, but that piece of me that loves her told her that she is sick. I said that she needed help because someone who thinks this is okay is really sick in the head, and she needed to go to therapy. I made her go to therapy about a year ago because her codependence was getting really bad, and that's when she was put on antidepressants. She stopped going right around when she got into the class. She said that she knew this whole thing wasn't okay. I simply replied that she did it, therefore a little piece of her did think it was okay. Colin also agreed that she needed to see somebody professionally. Codependence is a serious effing illness. She knows what she did was wrong. I know she did. I could see it in her eyes. She is a good person, Reddit, but this illness drives her to do things she objectively knows are crazy. And she can't help it. She's not innocent, and this is all effed up. I'm not defending her in any way. Deep inside, I know there's a good person just clawing to get out, and I truly hope that with medicine and therapy and time, Audrey can get better and have a beautiful life. But it will be a life without me in it. Now, you'll notice I wrote above her reasoning was that she didn't want to be with me because she was resentful. First, I believe her codependence made her be with me, even though she didn't actually want to be. She is too afraid of being alone, and she's been looking for a way out for 18 months. Colin was the first opportunity that came by, and she grabbed it. The relationship has been hard on me, and if she had found true love and wanted to leave me, I could handle that. The cheating, the lying, the manipulation, and the money makes this unforgivable. Second, in a gesture of good faith and honesty, I'll explain why she's resentful of me. Reddit, I'm not a bad person, but I did some bad things.
Oh boy.
When Audrey and I got together 6 years ago, I was in a really messed up place from my previous ex, and I didn't treat her well.
Oh, okay.
I had a history of infidelity, and it went on for a while.
It was only for a few instances. It was only a kiss.
But I only
was only a
cheated
kiss.
on you a couple times.
It was only a kiss. How did it end up like this? It was only a kiss.
It was only a few instances, nothing emotional, just wasted at a party stuff.
That does not help, make it any better, OP.
I'm not trying to trivialize it, but it was never any kind of extended affair. I effing hate that I did those things. I hate myself a lot still because of it. I told her about it every single time, and she would forgive me and take me back. 4 years ago was the last time it happened. So you did this for the first 2 years of
2
your
years of your
relationship.
OP, you are also an a-hole.
Yeah, you guys both kind of suck. And that was when I realized what a piece of crap I was and that I didn't want to be that kind of person. So for 4 years, I've tried to make up for what I did.
The only cool person in the story right now is Colin. He's the innocent bystander.
Maybe I deserved this after all, putting that sweet girl I knew back then through that crap. Maybe I caused these issues to surface, exacerbated. I'm no saint, but if the last 4 years count for anything, I still didn't deserve this.
You cheated.
When we decided to make this thing work 4 years ago, I asked very pointedly that if this was going to work, she would have to forgive me. If she didn't think she could truly forgive me, then we would be wasting our time. She said she did, but apparently she was lying. That was her reasoning behind being able to do all of this, because of the crap stuff that happened in the beginning.
That you caused. That you did. Hold on. From the crap stuff that happened at the beginning. That you caused. So at the end of this, I'm not pointing the finger at just a single person. I'm pointing the finger at both of you.
You guys both
You
suck.
both suck. You did this, and it's just the full circle. What goes around comes around. Sorry, I don't feel as bad for you, OP. What?
And I won't feel bad for you guys because there's always full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, search up OK Storytime. She could never forgive me, but she needed me, and that's why she stuck around. Like I said, maybe this is my karma, and maybe I had this coming for a long time. I just know that either way, my world erupted the last couple of days. I thought that stuff was in the past, that we had moved on from those things.
You have, because you cheated.
Yeah, it's easier for you to move on, dude. That's why I didn't mention them in my first post. I truly didn't think that they were what was driving all of this. Maybe that's naive of me, but 4 years is a long time. I've been nothing but caring and supportive, and the best dang boyfriend I could be.
But you cheated.
I'm a different man, and 4 days ago I thought Audrey was the girl I was going to marry. And god dang it, we had a hard beginning, but I was going to fix it. I was going to fix her.
You're so pretentious, OP.
She was going to get better because I got better and so could she. I guess I was wrong.
Oh my gosh. No,
I'm starting therapy tomorrow and I'm minimizing contact with Audrey to just loan stuff. Not a happy ending, but an ending nonetheless. I think that is the happiest of endings you could have, is never dating this girl again.
Ugh.
Comments. Commenter 1. The old Audrey you cheated on? I don't get how you cheat on someone for 2 years and act all shocked when it happens to you. It sucks and is brutal to do to someone, but okay, play crappy games, win crappy prizes. Someone replies, what he did wasn't right, but that doesn't make what she did okay either. He has a bit of a point in his post that he offered to end the relationship if what he did was unforgivable to her. She agreed to move on from it and try to make the relationship work, and then took advantage of him in an incredibly effed up way. I'm not saying what he did was right, but I feel like it's just as much of a BS excuse to blame that as it is to claim they weren't a couple or that it was some kind of mental illness. This girl did some effed up crap. No previous history justifies it in any way. If she thought it was that bad, she should have left him, not stayed and effed him like this. Someone replies, her excuses were BS for sure, but this is a lesson that when you do something crappy, having somebody forgive you doesn't wipe the slate and make everything okay. I disagree that he has a fair point. He may be a very honorable and nice person now, but nothing you do ever disappears completely from the world. Commenter 2, dude, just dude. What the F?
That's me.
Reading
I'm
this-
commenter number 2.
Yeah.
Literally, like, what did I just read, dude?
Reading this made me sick to my stomach for multiple reasons, from multiple angles. Both of you need help, and Colin needs someone to buy him an adult soda or 3.
I'm literally commenter number 2. I was like, Colin needs a hug. Colin needs... None of you deserve Colin.
And I'm this commenter that's replying back to you. Crap, I'll buy him a whole 6-pack.
Yeah.
Comment 3. In your therapy, you need to really dig deep into your insecurities. You talk about our codependency, but from what I read, I never noticed you talk about how codependent you were on her. You are obviously codependent on each other. You need just as much help, if not more. You were literally paying to have her in your life. If she were to be writing this, that is what she would be saying. She would be saying how obvious the charade was that she was pretending to be your girlfriend so you would send her to school and give her a place to live. Propositioning you for spicy acts for payment. When you broke up 18 months ago and she came back, you obviously never talked out your issues. You even told her that she would need to ask you out, and when she never did, you just accepted it, ignoring the issue because you were dependent on her. And you are somehow sad and surprised this happened. Your codependence on her allowed you to believe she still loved you. To the contrary to the many red flags, I bet were all around you for that time. Instead of being a man with a backbone who isn't afraid of confrontation, you stood there like a child hoping her irrational love was a real thing. You are delusional, and reading this made me sick. Your entire tone was condescending, and the entire situation was overanalyzed. I hope you get the help you need.
Yeah.
That is the end of that story.
Again, because
I was red flagged at the beginning when he kept being like, and her antidepressants make her not want to sleep with me. And I was like, dude,
Well,
that's
also,
the
like, he's
only
like,
thing
I'm
you
gonna pay
keep
for this, I'm gonna
talking
keep paying for
about.
this,
It's
paying
the
for this. I'm like-
only thing he kept talking about
And-
was I spend so much money on her and she won't sleep with me.
It was me. Yeah, it was me. And like, where's my reward?
Yeah.
Or like, she doesn't do this, or like all that stuff.
Yeah.
What I also got at the very end there, saying, I thought I could fix her.
Yeah. Didn't
I
like
could
that.
fix her. Like, dude,
Everybody
you kept
just-
her around because you treated her like a project.
Yeah. I
This-
certainly
yeah.
agree with the comments that it's like it's still not going to excuse what she was doing back to you. Like, that is totally messed up. But dude, you left a lot of context out.
Yeah, I think you're both a-holes. But
Yeah,
again,
except
the
for
way
Colin.
the way this started out, who was the first a-hole here was you, OP.
2 years of cheating, dude. What the heck? But that is the end of that story.
I cheated on her, but don't I deserve to be happy?
Cheater? I hardly know her.
Let's start with the backstory. I met my wife in high school. We dated for 3 years, but broke it off in the middle of senior year. We stayed broken up for a little over a year. During that year, I dated a little, spent time with friends, and had a few casual flings. Nothing serious. We got back together, and everything was great. By the way, this comes from Am I a Big Jerk? And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Riley.
And I'm Angie.
And I'm Sophia.
We don't have all the absolute truth or experience here. If you do, please comment below, but we're going to give our best shot at giving you advice. So, Opie says, at 21 years old, we had our first child and got married. My daughter changed my life. I went from a nerdy video game slacker to a highly ambitious IT professional overnight. I found a great job, got promoted quickly, and started to travel for work. At 24, we had our second kid. 4 kids. Our intimacy was great, anywhere from 2 to 5 times a week. But after the second one, it was maybe once every other month, usually less. I met someone that worked at one of those locations I traveled to. Similar situation, young, married, with kids, and lacking intimacy. It started innocent. It always does. But eventually, we decided we loved our spouses, but still needed a physical connection. Rather than risk emotional involvement, we agreed to only meet when I was in town. When I wasn't in town, we'd talk like friends/coworkers and keep things light. This arrangement allowed us to open up to preferences we've never shared with our spouses.
Let's test it with each other before we try things with our spouses. Do that. Trial run.
We continued this for about a year and a half, which ended up being about 6 visits. We both eventually agreed it was time to focus on fixing our marriages. And I did. I completely put all my energy into rekindling the passion into my marriage. It didn't really work, but everything outside the bedroom was perfect. So I decided it was okay with very little intimacy because she's an amazing woman. I didn't want to break up with a great family just because I wasn't getting what I wanted. I also made a vow to stay faithful, which I did.
I don't like this guy.
So they didn't do anything, but they just were like, man, we could do this, we could do that, we could do this. Is that what just happened?
No, they did do things. They met up 6 times.
Well, wait. What was this? I also made a vow to stay faithful, which I did.
I'm thinking
he's literally-
after.
He said he like did the cheating, and then he was like, well, I felt bad about that, so I went back, and now I'm gonna recommit to my marriage.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Which I stayed faithful to. It
Like,
didn't
you
divorce
already-
her.
You
I
didn't
think
tell
he's-
her that you cheated on her.
Yeah, I think he's saying that like once he decided to work on his marriage again and not cheat anymore, then he's decided to stay faithful. Which like up until this point that we're reading this, he has. Still a crazy thing to say.
Yeah. No, because he's
'Cause-
already cheated on his girlfriend. Then he was like, well, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be faithful from now on.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Faithful starting now.
Yeah.
So it's about to get stupid crazy right here.
Let's do it.
And about 2 years ago, my wife found a video on the laptop of me and my former affair partner.
Ooh. Why'd you have that?
That's what I'm saying.
Why'd you keep that? you Stupid.
That's what I'm saying.
Why is that there at all?
Why?
This guy's dumb.
I came clean about everything. I bet you did. Admitted it was wrong and vowed to prove I was worth trusting. She had some requirements that I accepted without question. I stopped hanging out with friends, stopped playing any and all video games, no longer chatted online, spent very limited time on the internet, switched jobs, helped out more around the house, and let her have full access to my email. I decided that I would cut out everything that could be a distraction from rebuilding trust. It's just 2 years later, and I'm confused. I've been faithful for more than 3 years now and done everything asked of me and more. I've made major changes in my life and who I am to prove that I can be trusted, but it's made very little difference. Still almost no intimacy, and she is very mistrusting. She can have Facebook, but I can't. She can go out with friends occasionally, but I can't. I can play a video game, but only if it has no online/chat component. We did counseling for about 6 months, and the therapist said she saw improvements and that I was making a serious effort to prove my trustworthiness. Wife didn't like sharing details of our life and felt it wasn't helping. Recently, a girl I knew in high school contacted me and made it very clear she'd be interested in a physically only relationship. I told her no, but it made me wonder how much punishment I should endure.
Break up.
Break up!
I don't
Oh,
even
I can't
understand.
go out and have a physical altercation with this woman. How much punishment can I still have? I'm not getting any spicy sleep. This is not fair.
How much of this can I handle?
I can't even
Ah.
play my video games with waifus in it. This punishment is getting unruly. I feel like I've tried as hard as I can, and I want to get better, but I refuse to spend the next 70 years apologizing and walking around with my head down. But I also don't want to be a weekend-only dad. That would destroy me, and I still very much love my wife. I just don't know what to do. We got an update. Sophia, what are you doing?
I'm leaving.
Yep.
I'm breaking up. It's already not healthy. Like, you can't fix this.
Update. After reading all the comments last week, I decided I'm not a prisoner and things had to change. I made plans to go out with friends. I hadn't seen in over a year on a Friday night. On Thursday night, I sat down with my wife, try and reopen communication. I told her that I have needs and wants that aren't being met, and that if we are going to make this work, then some things have to happen. She's my partner, not my warden. She took it pretty well and seemed to understand where I was coming from and recognize the huge amount of work I've put into myself and this relationship. It felt like a fairly major breakthrough. We even discussed picking a new therapist and giving that another try. But there was something nagging at me the whole time. A commenter told me he went through something similar, but eventually discovered his wife was also cheating, which explained why his life was on lockdown. I didn't want to believe it, but I couldn't shake the thought. My wife is reasonable, so why had I been under these restrictions for 2 years? After a couple of days, I gave in and started the keylogger on the laptop, and I did this Thursday afternoon. Friday comes, and I'm excited to see my buddies. We talked a little before I left. She was apprehensive, but understood this was necessary to rebuild lasting trust in our relationship. And like Reddit suggested, I hardly had anything to drink, answered texts and calls promptly, and got home 20 minutes before I said I would as a show of good faith. My wife was already in bed, but sleepily asked how the night went, and I told her it was great. Saturday morning, we discussed at length. She seemed genuinely happy and understanding, and I was beaming. Not only did I see my friends, but it looked like I was making real progress. While I was on this high, I decided trust is not built with a keylogger.
Oh,
great.
really?
Amazing.
What a great idea.
It was pointless and would only create paranoia. I should also mention that while she has full access to my email, I also have access to hers.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What's gonna happen?
The keylogger was unnecessary. I went to uninstall it. Of course, curiosity got the best of me. I checked the 2.5 days of logs. Nothing unusual. Amazon, Facebook, YouTube, Gmail. Then I saw a Gmail login I didn't recognize. I opened it. No spam, no random junk, just a folder labeled tax information. It was full. Hundreds of emails. None of it tax related.
Oh, I just gotta do my taxes really quick. Oh, taxes.
Wow.
Come on over here.
These emails have a lot of loopholes. Talking about a lot of loopholes in the tax breaks. Man.
Yeah. Oh.
Every single one was to or from Steve.
It's our tax guy, Steve.
I don't know who this Steve is. These messages were inappropriate, full of intimate conversations, things they liked about each other, and notes about every weekend together. I read through about 30 of them before I forced myself to stop. I made a new Gmail account and forwarded all of them there. Then I deleted my tracks, stayed calm. It hurt, but I cheated once, and now I was feeling what she must have felt. As I forwarded the emails, I noticed the dates. This has been going on for years, back to roughly a year before my son was born, before I even cheated.
Oh my gosh.
Wait, that realization hit me like a ton of bricks. What if my son isn't mine? What if my baby girl isn't mine? I completely lost it. I verified my tracks and left the house saying I was going to the gym. Sat in my car 2 hours crying, wondering how to move forward. I got home to find her best friend there. They said they were going to a movie. I nodded. I needed time to think. Later, I checked her secret Gmail. She had emailed Steve 4 hours earlier, saying she'd meet him after the movie. I checked the time. The movie should be ending. I called her phone 10 times. No answer. At 1 a.m., she walked in. She was surprised I was still awake and asked if I was feeling okay. I stood up and asked, "Why didn't you pick up the phone?" She said she was at the movie and couldn't talk. Then forgot to check. I looked at her and asked, "How's Steve doing?"
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Now, I would believe Steve is a tax guy if two things were to happen. Number one, there were no inappropriate texts. Number two, we don't have to pay taxes. If that was the case, I'd be like, all right, cool. How's Steve doing? accountant. I would believe that.
Like if wait, what? Like if you didn't have to pay taxes, then you'd believe that Steve is an actual
Yeah,
accountant?
like Steve and my wife are hanging out, and they're only talking about tax stuff and how to be
Sure, till
tax
1 a.m.
savvy.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we did see the actual messages, so
Yeah.
we know that that's not true.
Okay. And
But
I was hoping for a surprise accountant here.
it's like no, it's actually I'm the accountant and I'm helping Steve. Whoa.
And her name is actually Stephanie or whatever.
There you go.
She just goes by Steve for fun.
There you go.
Her face went pale. Your uncle Steve?
You-
Ew! Oh.
Kim Fine says plot twist, the movie was Minecraft. It's like, well, yeah, I mean he went to the nether, but like but he got out okay.
Oh man.
Went to her nether region.
Uh-oh.
Another. Your uncle Steve, she asked. No, I said, the Steve you just met after the movie. How's he? She froze. I told her I found the Gmail account. I told her I saw messages, including the one from tonight. With that closure, I had left. I asked, why didn't you come clean when you found out about me? We could have fixed things together. She started crying and ran upstairs. I followed her. She admitted she met Steve years ago at work. I asked why she didn't tell me when I confessed my cheating. She said she was hurt and ashamed. She claimed she ended it, but started again about 8 months later. Talked for hours. I asked if the two youngest kids were mine. She swore they were. She has no proof. I was shattered. I told her I needed space. I won't be her warden. I told her we need separation and therapy if we're ever going to fix this. She didn't like it, but I stood firm. I've been trapped for 2 years. Maybe she loves the idea of us more than me.
Very easy thing to do. Might
Now,
be true.
I don't know what comes next. I love my kids. I still care for her, but I don't know if we can ever trust each other again.
Oh my gosh.
Kimberly Fine said, not a single person in this story has come clean. Agreed.
That's pretty good.
Got an update. 6 months after I found out my wife had been cheating on me, and a lot has changed. After finding out, the first thing I did was get the kids' DNA test. Spent the next 2 weeks sleeping on the couch, having endless conversations with my wife. The more we talked, the more I felt like the world's biggest chump. I had poured my soul into fixing the relationship and was wrecked with guilt while she was out having an affair with some guy named Steve. But I also couldn't see myself just walking away. She'd been in my life since we were 15. We are now 29.
Ooh, that's hard, dude. That's rough. That's rough.
So I agreed to start therapy immediately and see how I felt after talking to someone else. To say the therapist was a bit shocked by our story is a bit of an understatement. This lady was pretty blunt in saying that nearly all of our problems stemmed from my wife's actions and that she needed counseling just for her, in addition to couples sessions. While we were in therapy, I moved out and crashed with my best friend, but demanded the house on the weekend so I could be with the kids. My other conditions were that she cut off all contact with Steve, and that we talk openly about everything, any lies, even the white lies, and I would be done. I wanted full control of the bills and the budget. She complied. I never divulged that it was a keylogger that helped me to find out what was going on. She assumed that she had stayed logged into her secret Gmail account, and I didn't correct her. Low move, but I figured that since I'd been lied to for 3+ years, I had the right to do a bit of spying.
Bro.
But whenever you installed the keylogger, you'd even know what was happening.
Exactly. Bro, you can't pull that. You cannot. You said, okay, yeah, we need to be super honest about all the lies, even the white lies, which
Dude.
means we would have to give all this information that might be important around it. You know, but
This ain't gonna work, man.
But I'm not gonna tell you that I installed a keylogger on your computer and then snoop through your emails. That is so insane. That's so insane. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
This puts us at roughly 4 weeks after I found out. And finally, the results from the kids' DNA test came back. Oh, mine.
Oh, okay.
Congrats.
Well, I mean, glad we know. I'm glad we know.
Steve shoots blanks. That was such a relief that I can't even describe. It almost felt like I didn't care what happened with my wife anymore because I knew my kids were mine and I'd always have them. And one thought stuck in my mind the whole time was, I can accept that people make mistakes, but if she loved me, she had the chance to come clean about her mistake when she caught me. Instead, she put me on lockdown for years. Who does that to someone they love? I just couldn't stop thinking about that. Therapy was going well, but I was becoming jealous and angry. always upset. I was away from home all week, and then on the weekend, I'd tear apart the laptop trying to find out what she'd been doing in my absence. She was checking her secret email, and Steve was continuing to email her, but she never responded. That was the breaking point. She hadn't shut down the email like I had asked, and while she wasn't responding, she was checking the emails almost like she was keeping her safety net around so she could go back if things didn't work out. Or maybe not. I don't know. But I didn't want to be angry and jealous all the time. I didn't want to be a warden. The next day, I confronted her, told her I couldn't forgive what she had done. I told her I could probably move past the cheating, but the way I was treated was terrible. I explained how I'd pushed friends out of my life and shut myself off from the world to work on us, only to find out I was being kept prisoner so she could keep seeing her affair partner. She broke down crying, saying she'd do anything to salvage the relationship, but it fell on deaf ears. That Monday, I contacted an attorney. Fast forward 4.5 months, I have my own place, divorce is nearly final, and I'm finally starting to feel like me again.
Good.
We're going for 50-50 custody. I've been reconnecting with friends and trying to find new hobbies for when I don't have the kids. I've been on 2 dates because a couple of friends wanted to double date, thinking it would help me. It was nice to meet new women, but I'm just nowhere near ready to trust anyone. And you can trust that we have more stories every day on your favorite podcast platform. Just search up OK Storytime and see for yourself on Apple, iHeartRadio, or Spotify. More stories just like this. We are almost done here. Ladies, anything else you want to add?
No.
I agree with everything that we've been saying.
Yes.
It's just a everybody sucks here kind of situation.
Oh, yeah.
But I am glad that they're at least like, or at least OP is kind of moving forward, it seems. So it's like, yeah, everyone sucks, but like you guys can't just not do anything for the rest of your lives. You gotta do something. So I'm glad he's doing this. I'm glad they're getting divorced.
I agree with Lisa Marie. However many years you were married, that's how many months you should stay single to work on yourself after divorce.
That's fair. That's fair.
Part of me thinks I'll just put off dating until the kids are out of high school. The kids are sad that we aren't together, but we keep all of this away from them. No arguing in front of them, and no bashing the other when they aren't around. But either way, I think I'm on the road to recovery. And feel free to ask anything, because you guys helped more than I could ever say. I say this story's done. This is...
Yeah. Glad it's done. Glad you aren't staying in that relationship.
Yep.
I caught my boyfriend cheating because of his smartwatch.
I guess he wasn't as smart as his watch.
Oh, I, 28 female, got cheated on by my ex. Let's call him Charles, 28 male, 2 years ago after an almost 6-year relationship, and I found out in an unbelievable way. Here is the backstory of our relationship. We started dating in the fall of 2017 when we met in college. Things were great for the first few years. We both graduated, went on trips, got along with each other's families and friends, and started talking about marriage. Then things started to go downhill once we were living together. By the way, this comes from username on the r/Charlotte Dobre YouTube subreddit. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Carly.
And I'm Keon.
We lived on a gravel road with 2 dogs. The house got dirty easily and needed to be swept and vacuumed daily. He would never sweep or vacuum no matter how many times I would ask him to help. Charles wanted to convert an old treehouse that was on the property into a chicken coop. I told him that I did not want chickens, but he said we were getting them anyway.
Besides the fact of the logistics, she doesn't want them.
Logistically, I don't get it, but OP doesn't want the chickens, and he just said, too bad. I told him that I did not want to be responsible for taking care of them because I didn't want them in the first place. And he said that he would take care of them. He never took care of them. I would I personally would never do this. But if I were you, I would just not take care of them. Personally, I would feel bad and I would take care of the chickens.
Yeah, how about them chickens?
I feel bad for the chickens.
But if you wanted to be really brutal,
don't do that.
don't do anything. I know. I feel bad. Don't do that. Don't do that. If you were
He's
more
like,
brutal,
put down your boundaries and do it. But
I would
I
never
would feel
do
so
that.
bad for the
I would
chickens.
never do that. I would take care of the chickens because I had chickens and I love chickens. I cleaned their coop on a weekly basis, fed them, collected the eggs, and fixed the coop after foxes had gotten into it. You know what? I take it back. Take care of the chickens. Dump your boyfriend.
yeah, keep the chickens you didn't want
Yeah.
that he bought.
Get rid of him. Put him in the treehouse. The few times I asked if he could fill the 55-gallon drum that he set up for their water dispenser, he got mad at me that he had to do everything for them. Yes, you do have to do everything for them.
They're your chickens.
The last 2 years that we were together, I was in grad school. I worked 2 part-time jobs in addition to taking classes and doing field placement hours for my degree. I was very busy, and we got maybe 1 or 2 days every month when we would both be off work together and able to spend time together. On those days, he would ask if it was all right for him to go on a short hike in the morning and then hang out the rest of the day when he got back home. I would always say yes because I knew he loved hiking, and I didn't want to tell him not to do something he loved. Well, Charles's short hikes would turn into him being gone for 8 to 10 hours. When he would get home, I would tell him I was upset and thought he was going to be home sooner than he was. He would tell me that I overreacted and to let it go. He was always late when it came to doing things with my family and friends. If we were supposed to leave at a specific time, that is when he would get into the shower to start getting ready. For example, I would tell him we needed to leave at 5:30 because we were meeting up with my parents at 6. He would go into the bathroom at 5:30 to start getting ready.
That's when you start lying about the times you gotta leave.
Yeah.
Like, he should be better about that, but that's when you lie about the times.
Or you break up with him.
Or that.
And then we would leave at 6. More than once, my family had called us and asked why we were late. And Charles said it was no big deal and it didn't matter because his family wasn't strict on their times when there were plans. I tried multiple times to explain to him that my family puts a time and place for a reason, and it's rude and disrespectful to not care about it. One time, I told him a time earlier than when we needed to leave, so we would end up being on time because he was always late. I told him on the way home that night that I told him an earlier time, and he called me a liar for doing that. Dump him.
He was probably still late somehow.
Yeah. Another time, I didn't monitor the time of him getting ready at all. I reminded him 2 hours before we were supposed to leave, and that was it. About 20 minutes after the time we were supposed to leave, I told him we were late, and he got mad that I didn't give him reminders to go get ready. I would be the only person who would cook, clean, take care of the animals, take care of the garden, and organize presents for family birthdays and Christmas. I would ask Charles to please help out around the house because I was in grad school and working 2 jobs while also taking care of the majority of the responsibilities around the house. What does he do?
Yeah, can we get a list of anything?
Literally, what does he do?
He complains. He wants chickens.
Yeah.
That's,
And also,
that's all I got.
anything he does do, you have to tell him. You have to
Right.
remind him, which is also mental,
hold his
stress for
hand.
you.
You're like his calendar and a planner at the same time.
Yeah. You're his assistant and also the boss. Too many jobs. He would tell me that since most days when I worked it wouldn't be until the afternoon. I had plenty of time in the morning to be taking care of the house. Ooh. Oh, why are we with him? I explained to him that isn't fair for me to be doing the majority of the housework just because my time off during the day was in the morning and not in the evening like his was. Charles would then tell me that I needed to make him a list and reminders of the
Oh
things
my
that needed to be done.
God.
You are not his mother.
Crazy that he could write his own list.
Write your own list.
He knows
Figure
how to
out
read
what
and
needs to
write.
be done in your own house. If you don't know what chores need to be done in the house that you live in, what's going on? This would make me angry because he lived in the house too, so he should know what needs to be done to take care of it. And if he did need a list, then he should make one for himself. He would say that I needed to make the list for him since I would ask him to do things all the time. He would leave his dirty clothes all over the house. Those were just the reoccurring things that would make me angry, upset, or irritated. We started growing apart, but I wanted to make it work because we lived together and had 2 dogs together. The few months leading up to me finding out he was cheating, he grew distant. He wouldn't hang out with me for longer than an hour, or if it was longer than an hour, then it was a movie, so we didn't have to talk. I saw texts on his phone with a girl from work that felt flirty. OP, you put up with way too much. Way too much.
I fully forgot the title of this
Yeah, I know.
story, and
I'm
I was
like,
like, oh
break up
yeah,
with
he's
him
just
way before
terrible.
this.
And then it's also that.
When I asked him about it, he got mad at me for looking at his phone. He then changed his passcode. The night I found out he was cheating on me, he said he was going to a bonfire at a coworker's house. At 9:30 p.m., he hadn't come home yet, and I hadn't heard from him in hours. I decided to go to bed, and I texted him and told him that's what I was doing. I woke up at about midnight, and he still wasn't home, and he hadn't messaged me at all. So I called him. It rang twice and then went to voicemail. I thought maybe he pressed the wrong button when trying to answer, so I called again. It rang 4 times and then went to voicemail. At this point, I knew that Charles was ignoring my calls. I called a 3rd time and the phone call was answered, but not intentionally. Charles's smartwatch answered the phone call, and on the other end of the line, I heard him and another woman being intimate. Oh no.
Smartwatch for the
Smartwatch,
save, though.
yes. I thought this was going to be kind of like a Whoop situation where it was going to be like, because it tracks.
Why is he exercising in his sleep?
Yeah, apparently, according to Riley,
I thought it was gonna be
tracks,
like you
your
could
exercise.
I thought it was gonna be like she could see the texts on it or something. Like he left the
Oh,
watch
yeah,
home
yeah.
and it was like lighting up a bunch or something.
Yeah.
But
By
this
the way,
is-
you can track full episodes of stories just like this if you go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. But there is a little bit left to this story. Don't be like this man. Be anybody else but this man. And also don't cheat. You automatically suck, but definitely this man. There's no
Yeah.
redeeming traits for this man.
none.
0.
Take his
Zilch.
chickens, kick him out.
Let that woman have him. He offers
the-
nothing to you.
Yeah, let the chickens run and be like, look at all those chickens.
Take his chickens,
Okay.
start an egg business, sell the
Yeah.
eggs.
Sell the eggs.
Make money.
Keep the chickens. Dump the man. Invest in that smartwatch.
Invest in that smartwatch, I suppose. I started yelling his name because I didn't know what to do. Then I heard the girl say, "What the heck is that?" And the line went away. Silent. Charles then texted me and said he wasn't coming home tonight because he didn't feel good.
He's caught up in something.
I immediately started having a panic attack. I called my sister and she got me calmed down enough to start packing my stuff right then and there. I had friends who came over immediately and we had all of my stuff packed up and in my parents' house in less than 12 hours. 2 years later, I am now engaged to a man who has shown me more respect, understanding, patience, love, and support than I ever got from Charles.
And where are the chickens?
Woo! Common
Please tell
one,
us.
did the knucklehead ever reach out? OP says he did. About 3 weeks post breakup, I went to a friend's wedding that he also went to. I didn't talk to him, but after I left, he texted me. He said that I looked really good and he wasn't able to stand up from the table because of how a certain area of his body reacted to seeing me.
Ew.
Ew.
So he's
OP, I hope you
disgusting,
had like a
too.
moment where you were like, wow, I
That's
was
his-
dating
That's
that
the
guy.
That's
best
the first
compliment he can
thing.
give you.
That's the first thing he says back
That's
to
what
you.
he
Is,
says.
Dude, oh my God, he sounds like a pervert.
He's disgusting.
Gross. Ew. Reply, I was just wondering because he didn't seem the type to go quietly. Just a feeling I got. OP says, I sent his parents a video explaining what had happened since he didn't come home before I was out of there. I heard from his cousin that he was mad that I did that, and a majority of the family was not talking to him because of what he did. His grandmother is the head of the family, and she basically shunned him. He also supposedly started dating the girl he was cheating on me with, and no one would speak to her at family gatherings. Comment 2 says, please tell me you took the dogs. Sounds like they would pass away if it were up to him to take care of them. OP says, I took one of the dogs. Unfortunately, there was not room at my parents' house to take them both. I took the one that was more bonded with me, and I had to leave the one that was more bonded with my ex. I think about my baby boy a lot and worry about him. I hope that dog is okay.
Go back for the puppy.
Go get that dog. Go get that dog.
You could give him to a friend.
Please.
Anywhere else.
Anywhere else but here.
My sister had an affair with my ex. I'll never trust her again.
See, now this is betrayal.
14 years ago, when I was in my early 30s, I dated a guy we'll call Rod for around 6 or 7 months.
Why are we calling him Rod?
maybe he's got. Never mind.
Long Rod. After only 2 months, he started visiting my parents and sister on his way home from work, claiming he wanted to get to know my parents. After 2 months. During this time, my sister, we'll call her Sherry, was going through a rough patch and making questionable choices with men and substances. By the way, this comes from Gasted Flabbers 66 on the r/Charlotte Dobre YouTube subreddit. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Riley,
I'm Sophia.
And I'm Keon.
and OP says, when I was dating Rod, I asked if he knew any way I could help her, as she was falling into a dangerous situation. He was a police officer at the time, so I hope he knows something that might help. He wasn't overly helpful and said I was being too judgmental of her choices. But then
What?
she got deeper into trouble.
I'm sorry.
I reached out to her saying I was there if she needed to talk. Around this time, Rod was visiting her every day after work. I informed Rod of my concerns about her situation and told him I was really worried about her because she had changed dramatically overnight. He yelled at me, saying that I obviously hated my sister and shut up about talking to her.
Why are you so defensive of OP's sister?
He
It's
wouldn't.
weird.
Yeah, this is Well, weird. He wouldn't listen to me at the time. I was worried sick for my sister, but he was adamant that I just hated her. He continued to visit her under the pretense of spending time with my parents. If I offered to join them, he'd say no and make excuses. I started getting suspicious and spoke to my best friend.
Dude,
They-
if my partner was hanging out with my parents after 2 months of us dating, was like, you actually can't come over, I would be pretty suspicious.
Yeah, what are we doing here?
Well, why do you like my parents so much?
Yeah. And I don't know, I would start thinking OP seems like a very trusting person.
Yeah.
If my brother was seeing the girl, okay, if my girlfriend was seeing my brother who is always doing substances, I would be like, you're probably doing substance too, no matter if you're a judge, magistrate, cop, whatever.
Yeah, and he seems like he's pretty okay with everything.
And
And stop judging her.
Stop. I started getting suspicious and spoke to my best friend. They agreed it was suspicious, and we knew something was going on. I knew Rod was cheating with Sherry. I got a call from Rod saying he'd pick up Sherry so we could all hang out together. Instead, I confronted them over my suspicion with both of them there. Dang. They denied it and yelled at me, saying I was out of order for even thinking such things and I was paranoid.
Out of order. He's a judge.
He just
Like
had
you
his back
said.
pocket.
Yeah. He goes, I'm a judge too, and a cop.
Boom.
And
I
you're
am the
too
law.
judgmental. And then he winks.
Dang. Thank you, Sheriff.
And he goes, they call me Rodsy.
This guy has a lot of nicknames.
Yeah, when he's a cop, he's Rodney. When he's the judge, he's Rodsy. When he's just off the clock, he's Rod. He's got a lot of
God
names.
with a big cod.
No.
My sister started crying and yelling, why would you say that? I couldn't do that to a sister. When he got back from taking her home, Rod gaslit me, saying that I was paranoid and that I had really hurt my sister's feelings and I should apologize. The argument settled and we went to bed. I didn't sleep with him as I didn't believe a word he said. After a week, I couldn't shake it. I ended the relationship. He called me names and said he deserved better anyway and that I'd end up old and alone.
Hey, man.
You could have just got broken up with. You know, some people are like, the worst thing they could say is no. It's not always the worst thing they
No.
could say.
Say worse things. Dang, man. Rod. You're a bad dude. Bad dude, Rod. Go be with OP's sister. That's clearly who you want to be with. Live your life away from OP.
Yeah.
Leave her alone.
Yikes. So, only a week after that, he and Sherry announced they were a couple.
Whoa, we're all surprised. We're all shocked.
Yeah, like, if you're cheating on someone,
At
just
least
break
be
up.
a little bit. Yeah, literally. Why are we cheating on people?
Yeah.
Just break up.
yeah, even if you did cheat, just
Break
break up right
up.
after it and go with someone
I'm
else.
sick of it.
It's
I'm sick of it.
we got to stop this.
Stop it. Cut it out.
Still strongly denying anything had happened whilst Rod and I were together. They both continued to call me paranoid, insecure, and jealous while they were parading their relationship in front of me.
To call you paranoid when they're actively dating a week after you guys got broke up, crazy.
Bad cop.
Crazy.
I bet he has
Okay.
a pair of handcuffs.
Okay.
I just smiled and let him get on with it. They split up only after 2 months.
Wow. Yeah, that no one called that
You know why?
because it was so healthy. It was so healthy that they had to split up.
Oh, I thought it was because they can't hide anything
Yeah,
anymore.
they was like, this is not exciting.
They're like,
Yeah.
this is actually kind of boring.
Yeah.
The rush is gone
Now
for
that
some
my sister
reason.
no longer cares about a relationship, I actually don't want to be
It's
with
not
you.
sneaky enough.
I then called her and said, Rod told me the truth. He hadn't, but she didn't know that. Sneaky.
Ooh.
She then confessed that it had been going on for 4 months and happened in my childhood bedroom.
That's so gross.
Ew.
That's grody.
Ew.
Oh, you could have left that part out.
Dude, ew. Stay out of my bedroom.
Plus, my mom knew the whole time?
No contact. I'm out.
Oh my gosh.
That's
she
crazy.
also said he had cheated with 4 or 5 other women and showed me messages she found on his phone. She claims she only cheated with him because he told her I was calling her names and saying bad things behind her back and that she was in a dark place.
I don't care.
What?
You betrayed me. That's insane.
How does that turn someone on? Hey, your sister's calling you bad names.
Well, I think it was just like, oh, well, then it doesn't matter what I do to her.
Oh.
I can hurt her. I can take her boyfriend.
Dude.
Oh, like, yeah, all the bad names. It's going to get back to her, yeah.
So much baloney. Agreed.
Baloney.
I told her we were done and walked away. Then I called Rod and told him Sherry confessed, and I knew everything. He called her names, mean names, yelled, and I hung up on him. I couldn't speak to my sister for a long time, but Dad said he wanted us all there 2 Christmases later and didn't want a riff in the family. I buckled and agreed to be civil. By then, I had a new partner, we'll call Rick, with a large...
Oh.
Come on.
She picks the names that rhyme.
It should have been Rick with a large rod.
Or we could just call him Rick.
Or Rod with
Richard.
Rod. You know what Richard stands for?
Yeah, we do know.
What?
We call him Richard.
Yeah, what's Richard's nickname?
My little brother, name is Richard, and my grandfather.
Well,
I
my
don't know.
uncle's name is Richard.
Good for him.
Rod with a tiny Rick.
Sherry flirted with him constantly at family events.
Leave Rick alone, Sherry. Leave him alone.
We lasted 11 years, but that harmful relationship is mentioned in another post.
Oh, no.
OP. Sorry, girl. My now partner, we'll call Shane, came into my life as a friend 13 years later. Okay, you see how
Okay.
Shane doesn't rhyme with anything? She knew what she was doing. She knew what she was doing when she
Shane
wrote
rhymes
this.
with pain.
Vain.
But nothing like
Stain.
Main.
Lame.
Rod with a big, or like,
Crane.
come on.
Shane.
Train. The Shane train.
Oh,
Shane run train.
Get on the Shane train. Ay, ay, ay.
Okay, anyways, he met Sherry a few times when he was taken, and I was just his friend. Sherry flirted with him in front of his girlfriend, sat on his lap, and grinded.
I would literally push her off.
He looked at me for help, so I pulled her off and reminded her that he was taken. She laughed and said she was just being friendly.
Excuse me.
She also flirted with him at her uncle's funeral
That's
and
embarrassing.
another event. Shane was very uncomfortable around her.
Embarrassing, girl.
So your sister has a type.
Yeah, it's whoever is around you.
It's the taken men.
Yeah,
And if they're married, it's better.
apparently.
2 years ago, Shane and I got together, and I pulled her aside and made it clear that if she flirted with Shane, there would be consequences.
Don't you do it. Don't do it.
So at our next family gathering, she flirted with him visually. She flirted with him.
And that's when I go over there and I say, bop, bop.
Yep.
And then I walk out the door.
Mm.
That's when I got a shovel and just hit her with it.
Oh, dang.
So she flirted with him visually, waving her assets in his direction and bending seductively in front of him. She did the
Bended snap.
The bend and snap.
Bend and snap. Just be low hot as getting.
I love the waving her assets in his direction and bending seductively in front of him. I love that part. I warned her again, reminding her if she's not that he's not interested and never will be. And if she kept flirting with him, I'd respond unkindly. Pulls out shovel.
You better not keep flirting.
Shane now dreads family get-togethers if Sherry's attending. And I dread him too. I hate being near her. I don't trust her. And I don't want to keep playing happy families when she and my parents cause me more stress than I can deal with. I've now decided that I'm not doing Christmas at my parents' this year. I've gone low contact with Sherry and my mom. And I really only see my dad when he comes here to visit my son. So, am I the a-hole for not trusting my sister and for not wanting to be near her even though the cheating was 14 years ago? Should I let it go or should I stay low contact? I would go no contact, but I have family members who actually love me dearly, who are good to me, and don't know if the rift between Sherry and myself exists. We have comments.
OP, a farmer doesn't trust a fox in a hen house. Therefore, you are not the a-hole.
Yep. Protect your cock.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that in this episode.
Okay. Well, anyway.
Yeah.
I give him an inch, he takes a mile.
Yeah, protect your Richard.
Comment number 1. Your sister keeps doing this crap to you because you let her get away with it every time. Cause a scene. Make her explain to you in front of everyone in your family why she insists on flirting and grinding on every partner you've ever brought around to her. Let them all know about the pattern that began when she cheated on you with your ex and your mom knew about it. Bring her shame to light. Quit carrying it for her. Get scorched earth and live your life. Opie says she stopped when I threatened her the second time. I told her that I would make everyone aware of her behavior and wouldn't hold back throwing hands next time. She hasn't come near Shane for 2 family events now. I blocked her years ago, and now my youngest sister has done the same. My mom's family, well, the decent ones, have blocked her. Her friends disowned her after I told them about her. I never let her get away with it. She always got consequences, but she just never stopped until a year ago when I lost it and threatened her. Even Dad stopped standing up for her at that point. He knew she'd pushed me too far and knew I was done. She knew too. It scared her. She's been very sheepish this last year, and no one has sided with her this time. The consequences are happening and have always happened. It just was always only me dealing with the punishment back then. Everyone until a year ago had her back, and that's why my threats meant little, because she knew Dad would step in. Now she knows he won't. Plus, my kids have grown up, and my daughter, in particular, has made it very clear that she also won't tolerate her behavior. I guess I asked the wrong question, really. I probably should have asked, am I wrong to not trust her? Am I the a-hole for threatening her to the point she's now scared of me? We have an edit. I think no.
No.
No. No. She sucks.
Yeah, and
That's on her.
She kept doing it because she knew she'd get a reaction out of you.
Yeah, and then you reacted, and
Yeah.
here we are.
And whenever your sister and Rod were dating, the reason it only lasted 2 months was because she was like, oh, this isn't fun anymore because my sister isn't reacting.
Exactly. She's searching for a reaction.
She loves poking the bear.
Mm-hmm.
Do some bear stuff.
Take away the stick.
Ew.
What do you mean, ew? Like growl at her, you know?
Oh, I see.
What bears are you dealing with?
I didn't know where you were going with that.
I don't know where you're going with that.
I don't know where you're
I
going
don't know
with that.
where anyone's
Where are
going.
you?
You're a little unhinged
Where am I?
today.
We have an edit. Since Shane and I got together, Sherry hasn't touched him. It's been visual flirting, and it happened twice. The first time I told her stop. Second time, I wasn't so polite.
Whopped her. Walloped her is what I meant to say. Walloped.
We only attended one family event a year. Mom is a recluse, so she doesn't attend. I also don't talk to her. Sherry's blocked on all my media and devices. My last threat to her was quite verbally aggressive, and I lost it with her. That was a year ago. Dad didn't stand up for her this time, and she got scared. He finally saw her for who she was, and my dad and I have been trying to work things out. Both events we've attended since. I lost it at her. She has stayed away from Shane. So I think I actually scared her this time. Shane has me, my daughter, and her girlfriend around him at these events all the times. Wait, what? Who's her girlfriend? Daughter? Does the daughter have a girlfriend? Okay, someone has a girlfriend. I have always let him know that he doesn't have to be there at any of these events, but due to my family history and the resulting CPTSD, he insists on being with me. We no longer do Christmas at my parents', and the one event we do attend is a birthday reunion at my uncle's. We attend it because it's the only time we get to see the elderly members of the family who all live quite a distance away in different directions. My uncle's house is in the middle ground and used to be my grandparents' house. These relatives are all in their 80s and love Shane, and he also loves them. They've always have been good to me and don't know the family past with us as children, nor do they know about Sherry's behavior. Due to the age and ailments, I'm not involving them now. And you better be involved with this next story you're going to listen to on your favorite podcast platform. Just search up OK Storytime on iHeartRadio.
Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio.
Just search up OK Storytime. Thanks,
Do it.
Sophia.
I got you.
A little bit left here. It's cute.
I just think you gotta cut Sherry off as much as you can. See the family members you do like, and there you go.
Easy.
And wallop her every time she tries to get near Shane.
I have that
Yeah,
shovel in my hand.
every time she like goes towards Shane, you just go.
Yep. 5 yards away. Distance more. Maybe 10 yards. 10 yards,
You
yeah.
go ah. She'll learn.
Rod W says justice for Rods. Feel better, Dakota.
Rods.
Rod, you're in
You're-
the bad place.
You're on like
You're in bad mode, Rod. Rod, you better.
Doghouse.
You better
Rod, does
stop
that stand for Rodney?
Yeah, what does Rod stand for?
Roderick.
Roderick.
That's not my Roderick.
Roderick.
You are my
I
Roderick.
didn't think about Roderick.
We got a little bit left here. I am in therapy for CPTSD, and I'm being guided by Shane and friends to pull away from toxic family members.
Yes.
Thanks to some comments on this post, I am looking into sorting meetups with the elderly family members away from my sister. On the plus side, these meetups will involve overnight or weekend stays, so that means more time with each relative. Shane is very up for it because it means no Sherry, a mini holiday, quality time with family that he and I love, and they all live near somewhere related to our mutual hobby. If we can sort this out, it'll mean we don't have to attend the birthday reunion each year. And that's the end of the story.
My boyfriend cheated and gaslit me into thinking that I was the problem.
He sucks.
I, 30 female, was with my ex for 8.5 years.
Dang.
6 of those years were long distance before he finally moved from Sydney to Melbourne so we could build a life together. We even bought a house. I thought we were unshakable. Instead, he turned out to be a manipulative, gaslighting coward who betrayed me with a colleague. And by the way, this comes from Difficult View 6845. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. And I'm Angie.
I'm Sophia.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. So we're just going to guess what we would do in this situation, but let us know what you would do down below. So OP says, the beginning of the end came on the 7th of March. He rolled in at 4 a.m. after celebrating with graduates at work. Meanwhile, my younger brother, who was at the same event, was already home by midnight. He had barely texted me all day, ignored my calls, and later brushed it off with excuses like, oh, my phone battery was low and I was keeping people safe.
I don't buy it.
When he finally crawled into bed, I snapped. I told him I wished I had broken up with him 2.5 years earlier
Yeah.
because deep down I had never recovered from an earlier betrayal. Oh, wow.
Uh-oh.
On our first anniversary living together, I found a USB almost entirely full of corn of one influencer with edits so warped I couldn't even tell if it was her body or something he had fabricated.
Yikes.
Oh my God. I've never cared about corn itself. What cut deep was that he once brushed her off to me as just average. Finding those images was gutting. And when I hit a major career milestone, he didn't even show up. This is the same man who had just quit his job to fly to Vietnam for a Bucks trip, but somehow the trip from Sydney to Melbourne, for me, was too much. He didn't celebrate my graduation or me being a keynote speaker at my workplace. The cracks in our relationship weren't just showing, they were gaping.
I'm kind of shocked that they lasted as long as they did.
Yeah, right? His reaction to my outburst floored me, not because it was genuine, but because it was straight out of a bad soap opera. He cried, clutched his chest like he was having a heart attack, and acted utterly shattered. The very next day, he asked for a break, saying that something in him had shifted. March was heck. I blamed myself every single day, begging for forgiveness, chasing after him, all while trying to hold it together as a bridesmaid at a wedding where he could barely look at me. He didn't want to take pictures with me at all, and that broke me even more. I begged him to try couples counseling, to spend time with me, to take time off of work, even just to read a book on communication. He refused every single thing because drama was easier for him than actually doing the work. Then, on the 24th of March, my gut told me to check our shared iPad. What I found made my stomach drop. YouTube searches from March 6th, like, should you leave her on red? Ways to text women. First kiss advice. How to make a girl want you.
That's embarrassing.
It was very embarrassing. From there, everything started unraveling. I messaged my younger brother who had actually gotten him his job, and finally the truth spilled out. Colleagues had warned my brother that my ex was getting close to a 20-year-old named Tiffany. He was going to tell me the day before, but my ex was with me when we went over. Suddenly, all the excuses of late trains, comforting a colleague, I need to be in office, all lined up. My sister's boyfriend even said that he had seen someone who looked like him with a girl in the city. I completely broke down. My mom and brothers literally held me as I had a panic attack. When I confronted him, he followed me around the house, blocked me from leaving, and drip-fed admissions. First, nothing happened, and then I confided in her because I had no one else. Then, she held my hand outside work in front of the building. Then, I didn't even realize she was holding my hand until we crossed the road. What?
He's
That's
like, I
stupid.
get really scared crossing roads.
Yeah.
We're taught to hold our buddy's hand
Yeah.
and then look both ways.
Right. Always minimizing, always twisting, always deflecting. Around that time, I was also suddenly kicked off our home security system, something he brushed off, claiming he couldn't fix it. His mom begged me to forgive him, saying, if he does one more thing wrong, then you can punt him out. She even asked me to make sure that my mom didn't tell anyone in the extended family, just to protect their image. Meanwhile, I was drowning in evidence. Lingerie he claimed that he bought for me, that was actually hers, a photo strip of them together. He insisted the date was wrong and that he looked happy, but he wasn't. Messages from her saying, I love you, I miss you, baby, I wish you were in my bed, and eventually videos and photos of them sleeping together. He had tried to delete them, but I found them sitting in his Google account's trash folder all on my birthday.
That's embarrassing for him.
That
Just
really
couldn't
is.
even figure out how to delete them.
Honestly.
And also, it sucks that it was on your birthday and
Yeah.
at all.
We were supposed to have dinner together that night. I'll never forget the feeling of scrolling through these photos and videos as my heart shattered all over again. Through it all, he still played the victim. He cried about being effed up and rotting in his own guilt. He told me I'd be fine because everyone loves you while he had no one. Yeah, except the boys back home he never bothered to call. Guess speed dial only worked for Tiffany. He even punched a hole in the wall during a heated argument when I said her name, demanding why I kept bringing her up and swearing that he was done with her because she had moved departments. Meanwhile, the phone records show that he was calling her almost every single day, even on the days that he swore he loved me, that I was his endgame, and that he wanted to propose in Japan in 2025, and that I was meant to be the mother of his children. Nothing but lies. Honestly, I wish I'd checked sooner and saved myself a few more months of this crap show. Shout out to Facebook Reels for giving me the inspiration to dig through the records. Best LOL I've had in hindsight. What also disgusted me was when he went away for a weekend to stay with his relatives. I finally had some quiet time to journal and process my thoughts, which I later read to him. I didn't even make it halfway and he was already acting up. He sneered, "What the F are you saying? Why are you writing this weird crap? It's like you haven't listened to me for the past 2 to 3 months. You're acting like the victim." Am I not a victim of his infidelity? The lying just never stopped. Even in our first and only couples counseling session, when the therapist asked, "So when you slept with Tiffany," he denied it to her face. Oscar-worthy performance if the category was best gaslighter. I finally reached out to Tiffany on July 5th. At first, she didn't want to talk and said, "I don't think we should be having this conversation without Brad." Honestly, that told me everything I needed to know. I went in thinking maybe she'd been manipulated like me, but come on. My clothes, my things, my life was everywhere in that house. There's no way that she didn't know. She admitted she'd asked him multiple times if he was single, as she wasn't about to get into a relationship with someone who wasn't. And he lied every time. According to her, they'd been official since late February while he was still sleeping in my bed. She confirmed that she had been in my house. She confirmed the yellow lingerie was hers. She confirmed that I was the one who initially wanted counseling, but after Tiffany's involvement, he wanted to push for multiple sessions and he spun it as though he was just supporting me. Classic. The same man who begged to go, then flipped it to make me look needy. And the cherry on top, he was intimate with both of us, unprotected. Romantic, right?
Yikes.
Yeah. No, just disgusting. I told her to get tested just in case. I know my body count is 1, but God knows where else he's been. Internet history was absolutely tragic. Forget Endgame. This 31-year-old man was stuck on the tutorial level asking Google how to play. Yeah,
Literally, yeah, he's literally
literally.
like, how have kiss?
How do we kiss?
How do you know if a girl likes you?
How soon can you hold a girl's hand? From February through May, he searched things like how to attract women, 10 psychology techniques.
Yikes.
Crazy. 3 ways to make women fall for you on a first date. How to make her want you without trying hard. How to kiss someone for the first time. Get a girl that just got out of a relationship. What? How to pursue a woman without being needy. 4 ways to attract women without saying a word. Oh my god,
This is the worst
there's
part.
so many of
He
them.
just doesn't know how to talk to women.
Yeah. How to behave around a girl you like. The science of getting girls. First kiss advice, age, bad kisser, and more. How to become more handsome without changing your appearance. AI girlfriend. Oh my god.
Honestly, the cheating is terrible.
right.
But I would be like, damn, I'm dating a loser.
Honestly, like
this guy sucks.
This guy sucks, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my god. He actually played the game on the date that was printed on the photo strip too.
Oh my god.
I found the game and went into it. The man was playing in the early morning hours. When I asked about the YouTube videos, he swore that they were random ones that popped up and that I knew he always had YouTube running on his other monitor. But I never believed him. Algorithms don't jump from NBA highlights to how to kiss a girl tutorials. Not to mention, he used a different YouTube account on his PC. He studied IT in TAFE too, not sure what kind of lie he was trying to make. A few hours after I booted him out, he threatened legal action to claim de facto rights. After all the destruction he caused, he ended it with sorry for the crap person that I am. Now I'm left to clean up the mess he made, emotionally, legally, financially. Whilst he gets to move on, my nervous system is still wrecked. I live in flight or fight, but I also feel lighter because at the end of the day, I dropped dead weight. I'm surrounded by love and will forever be grateful to anyone who has supported me. My life honestly feels like it turned into a real-life K-drama. I love watching them, but living one? Nah, man, I'm good. Betrayal, plot twists, side characters, the whole circus. The only problem? My so-called leading man skipped the redemption arc and continued to play the diabolical villain. Plus, there was no good-looking second lead male, so that was sad.
Yeah.
But screw him. Screw his crocodile tears. Screw the way he tried to convince me that I wasn't enough. I always was enough. He just wasn't man enough. He wasn't my endgame. He was just a badly written side quest that taught me my own worth. I hope the last time I ever have to cross paths with him was on 17th of August, which he came to pick up the last of his belongings. Couldn't resist a little send-off. I placed a spicy toy packaging that he bought to use with Tiffany and tried to hide it as a private purchase, but the genius left the email confirmation in his inbox. I left it right on top of his stuff along with his ED medication for his uncles to see. Oh my gosh. But you can see full episodes with more stories just like this one on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app. Just search OK Storytime. And there is a little bit more to the story, but
Dang, man, you really
yeah.
got him good.
Yeah, dude.
It's not that hard to get a guy that gives it all to you. It's like if in one of those old movies where you have like stereotypes of like all of the high school like jocks and the nerds and stuff. If the nerd like went up to the jock and was like,
I'm head of the math club, and also I
have allergies, and just like gave them
like their
everything.
bio description.
Yeah, and they were like, well, you're gonna get punched now.
Right,
Jump
right.
into a locker. Like he gave you everything.
Everything that you needed, and
Yeah.
you stood up for yourself.
Yeah.
Good for you. I'm sorry it took so long for you to figure out all of
Yeah,
his
8
manipulation.
years, rough.
But it's tough, dude. It's tough.
Got there eventually.
You did, and there is a little bit more to this story. He clocked it and shoved them straight into the bin. When he got distracted, I went downstairs, fished the packaging right back out of the bin, and put it right in front of his uncles this time. He spotted it, ripped it up, and stuffed it deeper in the trash. To anyone else surviving infidelity, I hope you heal and find the peace and love that you truly deserve. Please never doubt your worth or silence your intuition. I gave my ex far too many chances to come clean and almost went insane. Most importantly, remind yourself that there's still light out there. Look for the stars and not the bars wherever you can. And that is the end of that story. What a good note to leave off on.
Yeah, OP,
Yeah.
you're gonna do all right. You're gonna do okay.
Yeah. Good job, OP.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're out of there. And you're still very young. in
Yeah,
your
you got
30s.
time.
Yeah, you're good, dude. So good luck to you. But that's
Truly.
the end of that story.
My wife hid the truth for 17 years, and now I'm questioning our entire marriage.
You can't handle the truth.
I, 39 male, and my wife, 42 female, have been married for 17 years. We were married exactly 2 years to the day that we met. We hit it off quickly. Our meeting story is a good one. She yelled at me. This was the first time I had ever asked a girl out on the day I met her. We had a great first date. And by the way, this comes from user Daryl Valen. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Dakota.
And I'm Keon with allergies.
And we're here to give you good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do. So if you would do something different, let us know in the comments. As OP says, she even invited me back to her apartment and we watched a movie. There was no intimacy beyond me kissing her goodnight. I was actually a virgin. I spent the next 6 weeks seeing her 3 to 5 days a week, whether it was for a quick lunch, a simple dinner, or hanging out watching TV, or actual dates. When I couldn't see her, I called her, and it seemed perfect. At the time, I had just finished my freshman year of college, and she had already graduated and was working full-time.
Whoa. All right. Interesting.
Okay, still no full intimacy at this point, but we were still very close. She offered, but I just wasn't ready. I had a summer job as a camp counselor and had to leave for the next 7 weeks. I called her almost every night and talked about us being able to get back together. I was giving her the full boyfriend treatment, and she was giving me the full girlfriend treatment. When I got back at the end of the summer, we jumped right back into our old habits of seeing each other constantly. In October, I had to leave school over money problems and went back home. In December, I proposed, and she accepted. We continued our long-distance relationship until June of the next year, when she moved to me. We saw each other every other weekend and talked nightly. When she moved down, we all but moved in together. Life was good. We married 2 years to the day that we met. We have 2 kids who are 14 and 11, and our marriage has had its ups and downs, but we've always stuck together. She is my one and only. She has had a lot of health problems, both mental and physical, and they have really affected her. And I've stood by her even when these problems have negatively impacted our marriage.
In sickness and in health.
They-
Booyah.
That's what you signed up for, my guy. When I've told friends about her health issues, they often seem surprised it affects her so much, as they are not crazy problems. I've had a lot of people reply she needs to buckle down and push through.
Hokey down.
I've always defended her in these situations. The last 5 years have been really rough. I'd say out of 17 years of marriage, we've had 10 years where the medical issues have negatively impacted her. Around 2 years ago, I started feeling neglected. She had given up on life in a lot of ways, and I was always the last priority to her, or at least that's the way I perceived it. This year, it really began to impact me. I thought she didn't want me anymore. I kept quiet, mistake, because I attributed it to her health issues, and I'm not that guy who's going to abandon her just because I'm not getting what I need. Hey, buddy, bringing issues to light does not equate to abandonment.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's valid to be like, hey, I feel like you could come to her empathetically and say, I want to make everything perfectly clear at first. First thing I want to make perfectly clear, I am not blaming you because of your health issues. I'm simply just stating how I feel. Boom. OP says, it festered,
Yeah.
and I began to question a lot of things. Did I make a mistake marrying the first girl out of high school, the first girl that I slept with? I felt like my marriage was changing forever and that I had missed out getting married so young. I finally broke down and told her how I felt. She was very understanding and assured me she still wanted me and was attracted to me. I started putting more effort into myself, trying to be more attractive to her. We had some good days over those next couple of weeks. Here is where the problem comes in. From the get-go, she lied about her past with men. She told me she had only been with one guy, and I was stupid and believed her. Multiple guys were reaching out to her even after we were engaged. She got STD tests during our early relationship, even though she and I weren't having the space to sleep. As the years went on, I learned more about her past, and she let certain things slip. I questioned her on whether she was sleeping with guys when we first started dating when I was at camp, but she told me no. I later learned her true, at least I must take her word for it, body count, which it didn't bother me, other than that she had lied to me, because that was before me. However, little things kept coming out. The guy she kept going back to before me was still friends on Facebook with her and reached out even after we'd been married over 10 years. I told her to unfriend him, and she did it, but hesitantly. The last thing that came out before D-Day was the guy she said was always wanting to date her even after we got together was someone she had actually slept with. She'd always said she couldn't stand him and turned him down, but because I was feeling so down and questioning the past, all the little hints I'd missed over 19 years started coming to my mind, and I couldn't stop myself from asking. Fast forward to D-Day, a couple of weeks after I told her I was feeling neglected. My suspicion was really strong that she was sleeping around on me while I was at the camp, but I didn't want to believe it. I had asked her years earlier, and she told me no. She'd had a couple of drinks. I was in my head, and I asked her. She confirmed she had been sleeping with other guys, plural, while I was at camp, and maybe even before while I was still in town. I was absolutely devastated. She seemed surprised I was mad. She then hit me with, we weren't together during that time, so she didn't think it was cheating. She also hit me with she didn't know how I felt about us, which was why she didn't think we were together. I was shocked because I thought it was clear. I assured her I still loved her, and we had a long talk.
All right. I mean, it's the, hey, you want a time machine again, brother?
I mean, if it's not, if you, look, when I was like 18, I did this with like a girlfriend where I just assumed that we both, thought we were like crazy for each other and we were dating. And she assumed the exact opposite because I didn't say anything. And we ended up getting together for a long time. But like, yeah, it's if you guys were in a place where it wasn't clear that you guys were together on both sides and being like, yep, we're dating, we're together, you can't really fault her for doing that. So she told me that it stopped over the summer before I got back after she realized from one of our phone conversations how I felt. The next day, she called me at work because she knew I was upset and asked if I wanted to separate.
Whoa.
I told her no, and I thought I could live with this because it was so long ago. The last 2 months have been a struggle. All of this has made me distant and cold. I can't stop thinking about it. She told me she wished she'd never told me and that if it wasn't for the fact she'd had some drinks, she would have lied to me again. Well, that's not good.
That's both not good. Ooh.
Couples counseling, please. Thank you.
And therapy for yourself, my guy, where you're like, no, I don't want to separate, but all I can think about is that you lying to me 17 years ago when we weren't together. If you guys were officially together and, like title, relationship, boyfriend, girlfriend, it's a different story.
Yeah.
But the fact that you guys were not labeled and like, yes, you were still talking, but that you guys were never adamant on like, what are we kind of thing? Or like, are we mutually exclusive? Come on now.
She asked me multiple times if I wanted to separate and then started crying, telling me she can't live without me. She's told me she's afraid to ever tell me anything again because of how this has affected me. And here's the most messed up part. She's mad I'm not over it. She has on a few occasions fussed at me for how I've made her feel, that I've broken her and don't seem like her husband anymore. She acknowledged I'm hurting but expects me to push on. She makes it about what I'm doing to her, not what she's done to me when she gets upset. What did she do to you?
Brother, OP, what are we doing?
That's the thing. If she had cheated on you, that's one thing, okay? If you guys had kids together and she cheated on you, that's one thing. If you guys didn't have kids together and she cheated on you and y'all were together, that's one thing. But y'all were not clearly together. Clearly you guys have had very... you guys have had struggles with communication for probably your entire relationship. OP says, I try to put a brave face on, focus on the good times, and try to make good times now, but man, is it hard. I feel hurt, betrayed, and angry constantly, especially when I'm alone. Whether she thinks it or not, I feel like she cheated, or that she led me on because she liked the attention but wasn't ready for a relationship.
Do you see where you are right now?
That doesn't make any sense. You're like... Whether she did it or not, I feel like it's cheating, but it wasn't.
It wasn't cheating. Yes,
you weren't together.
It sucks, but how do you, it's like you spilled the milk has been spilled. How are you to clean it up? And it seems like you are not cleaning this up. You're spreading the milk more.
I feel lied to, and that I ended up in a marriage that was founded on a lie she would have kept until the end. I feel like I should never have married her. I don't even know what this really is coming from. It's coming from your friends, because it started with your friends being like, oh, it feels like she should just be able to not have those medical issues affect her. And then it's all snowballed from there.
It's very, I don't know. This is very weird. OP, oh man, you need some help.
She was hurt that I said if I knew back then, I'd have broken up with her. I mean, if I'd known 10 years ago, I'd have left. Ugh.
Dude.
Then you should just leave. I also don't know what else she may be hiding because she thinks I'd leave. The kids are the biggest reason I haven't left. I also don't want to throw away 17 years of marriage because I still love and care about her, but it is a struggle. I'm in therapy, but the therapist isn't helping much. I try and reframe things like he tells me to, but I end up angry again. I haven't expressed this to her. And by the way, I want to express to you that we have full episodes with stories like this on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts. You search OK Storytime, and you can listen to every single episode we have on there.
It just seems like every time you see your wife now, it's just like, liar, liar, liar. You lied to me. You suck. You cheated on me 17 years ago when we weren't together. I hate you.
Yeah, and really, it's instead of looking at your wife, you really need to look within and see where this is coming from, because it's very clear that, at least to me, it's like this is coming from a kind of an angle of jealousy, where it's like because your wife
she did this stuff,
these,
like you did,
you
like,
know,
oh, you assumed that you were in a relationship and like, oh, I could have talked to other girls, or I could have done this, or
right.
I'm regretting that I married the first girl I fell in love with, dude.
And it's, like, well, I didn't get to do that. Yeah, but you could have.
But look what
your
you
choice
built. Look what you have. I
don't know.
Again,
it's just a FOMO and jealousy, and like, stop it. Let's finish this story. She accused me of being afraid to move on, but what I'm afraid of is losing my temper, which I've never even done that with her ever, and saying hurtful things because I'm so angry at her. I'm angry at her for what she did and how she turns it around on me. I think about leaving, but then fold up when she confronts my distance, usually talking about how it hurts her and she doesn't know what she'd do if I was gone. I don't want to ruin my family, especially the kids, but I don't know how long it will take for me to learn to live with this and if she'll give me that time.
So what are you working to do to better that?
It's therapy, couples therapy. For God's sake. You guys are in like a communication stalemate.
Yeah.
Like you're like, oh, I can't communicate because I'll just get mad and leave her. And she's like, I can't communicate because I'm afraid you'll get mad and leave me. So y'all need emergency communication, like assistance, therapy. Every day is a struggle. I guess I needed to get this out because I have nowhere else to get it out.
Oh man, I wish
Brother.
there were comments. I wish there were comments.
And that is the end of that story. Go to therapy with your wife. Go to couples therapy.
Talk it out. Tell
nowhere else to put it. Yeah, talk to your wife.
Keep walking forward and what's going to be the best for you, and especially the one that you keep saying, I love my wife, I love my life. What are you doing to fix it?
Yeah.
What are you doing to make it better rather than make things worse? And I'm not telling OP to like, hey, suppress your feelings and just be like, move on. This is definitely something that's bothering you. Talk about it and see what you can do to make things better and work on it.
My wife hid years of cheating, and now I'm ending our marriage.
Yeah, that seems justified.
My wife and I met when we were 19 and 20. We dated for 7 years and have been married for 15 years. I found out she was meeting a guy when I was doing 2 months of Army basic training. She was 22, and we had been dating for 3 years. She said they were just going for coffee, and I stupidly believed it. I always had my doubts, so I asked her about it many times, but she promised nothing happened. By the way, this comes from Humble Athlete 2202, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Angie.
I'm Carly.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we do, so let us know what you would do in the comments. After 7 years of dating, we moved to Canada and got married. Woo! Marriage was real good. She supported me well, and I had no complaints. We built a good life together, and we have 2 young boys. We lived with my parents for a year, and she really took care of them. 6 months ago, I found evidence that she might have actually cheated. Bummer.
Boo.
So I pressed her Turned out they had already kissed before I caught them, and she met him again after I forgave her for meeting him.
Ugh.
He convinced her to go to a hotel one night. She said she was extremely nervous and refused to continue having spicy sleep after a few minutes.
A few minutes.
She's like, we had spicy sleep for 10 minutes. And then I said, whoa, cool your jets. Nobody would
crazy.
believe this, but she took a polygraph test and passed.
What if we're thinking that someone's cheating and we hook them up to a lie detector? Maybe we should reflect. We should pause and reflect on if it's worth it. And the answer always is no. You should never be going to that length if you are already untrustworthy.
He
That's
got
wild.
mad and yelled at her. That was the last time they met or contacted each other. She also met 2 other guys during that time, a few dates, some kisses, no spicy sleep. She was 22 to 25 years old. All of this happened before we moved to Canada and got married. She did not make any excuses. She just said she was naive, dumb, selfish, and emotional. It has been 6 months since I found out, and I tried to forgive her because our kids are young and she treated me very well after we got married.
You have kids? Did
Yeah,
we
they have
know
2
that?
young kids.
Oh god, that's terrible.
She was treating me well even when she was cheating. She was a typical cake eater type of cheater, but it feels almost impossible. We both did counseling and that did not help with my anger. My resentment keeps building up and I feel like I don't love her anymore. I still care about her, but the love is gone. 3 months ago, she moved all her inheritance to my bank account, $250,000.
Whoa.
She wrote a separation agreement saying she would give up all her assets and even custody. Whoa.
Ugh.
She just wants to be around me and our kids if we get a divorce. Bad move, girl.
Yeah.
She begs me to keep her as a housekeeper at least. Girl, what?
Huh?
She knows she can get half of everything, but she understands how badly she screwed up because I was always there for her since she was 19 years old. No. If she still wants to take or, be around her kids,
Yeah.
that is a very bad decision, girl. Don't do that. Just get half custody of your kids.
Right.
What are we doing?
That's not a good idea.
$250,000 into no, don't give that money away. That's your money.
Don't do that.
Like,
Don't do
yes, you
that.
cheated and you guys should divorce because you cheated and broke the trust in your marriage.
Sure.
But whoa, we don't need to go this far. She was emotionally very weak, indecisive, and heavily relied on other people, usually me, and I was totally fine with that. But when I wasn't there for her, she easily built up feelings for the guys who helped her. She knows now they just wanted spicy sleep. She grew as a person a lot since our older son was born. She said if she lied about any details of her cheating, I can cut her off from my and the kids' lives and punt her out. I can do as many polygraph tests as I want with different questions. I can tell she's very remorseful, but I'm not sure if I can love her like before. She's a serial cheater who screwed up her second chance. I know the cheating was before marriage and they weren't full-blown affairs. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
She cheated on you.
Yeah.
But I cannot move on 20 years of lies. And there are comments. But do you have any thoughts? Because I do.
This is a very unhealthy relationship either way. Either way, besides the cheating,
Oh, yeah.
let me make it up to you. I could do a polygraph
Yeah.
test for you.
Well, it seems
At
like
all.
she's just shooting herself in the foot.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
sure.
whoa, girl, yeah, you cheated. Let's divorce.
Yeah.
Let's end this
Let's
relationship.
just do it.
You don't need to literally become a traveling monk with no money
Yeah.
just because you made this terrible mistake in your relationship. It doesn't mean you have
Sure.
to screw yourself over in every other area of your life. You still have kids who rely on you. You're not
Yeah.
the housekeeper, you're their mom. So
Totally.
let's get this divorce,
Yep.
end this relationship that is not working.
Yep.
You go move into another place with all that money that you have and give 50-50 custody. Because it doesn't seem like she's a bad mom.
You don't need to go to all of these lengths just to
Exactly.
keep the relationship. You just
End
go.
the relationship, take your
Yeah.
money, 50-50 custody,
Right.
be done with it.
Exactly.
It's too much. Comments. Comment 1 says, I usually say cheaters are cheaters, but dude, she has literally thrown herself on her sword and given you everything. You admit yourself that she was young, naive, and needed constant affirmation. That doesn't excuse the behavior, but it sounds like she has done more than virtually any person I've ever heard of to make amends. I've been in a relationship with a cheating wife that ended in divorce. She was a serial cheater. Your wife seems like the 5% who totally regrets it and will do literally anything to atone for her sins. I very politely suggest you personally see a counselor before making a decision. I'm not talking about a marriage counselor. I'm saying for yourself. I am in no way suggesting that you need to change your mind, but I think a professional could help you process your emotions after all this time and see if you can feel that love again. It sounds like she's trying to be a good mother, or it sounds like she is a good mother and is trying hard to be a good wife. I seriously feel for you. Most posts here generally feel pretty cut and dry. This one feels different. And OP says she regrets her stupid actions. She can't even believe what she did to me. She buried it deep and tried not to think about it. She never protected her phone even before, but now she shares her location and hasn't gone outside by herself for 6 months.
Oh, God.
Kids' school is 5 minutes walking distance from my house, and she brings GoPro with her to leave a footage.
Oh, my
She
God.
also has installed security cameras everywhere in the house so I can see her when I'm at work.
I hate that.
Girl,
I hate it.
This isn't. I think both of them need individual counseling because this
For
is
sure.
so unhealthy. And
So unhealthy. I mean, like,
Ugh.
obviously she is the a-hole
Yes.
for cheating. I do wonder whose idea all that stuff is, though, about like the GoPro and the security
well, it
cameras.
feels like it's hers. I feel like she's like
Maybe.
taking on this like martyr status
Yeah.
in hopes that he'll
Possible.
forgive her. But none of it is healthy for either of them.
Yeah, not healthy at all.
Comment 2. Brother, personally, if it was me, I'd do everything I could to accept her apologies and explain to her exactly what you're feeling and that it's going to take time to get back to where she wants you to be. There's one thing you have to. Whether you stay with her or choose to leave, you need to sit her down and tell her that you won't be her jailer or probation officer. The situation as it is will cause some serious mental health issues. She seems to truly love you and sounds like she realizes how much she has to lose, yet still offers all the concessions. You need to tell her that you reserve the right to check in at any time, but neither of you can continue with this level of worry. It really comes down to 2 questions. After all this, do you believe she truly regrets her actions and loves you? Do you, after all this time, trust that she will be faithful if you aren't her digital probation officer? And if the answer to these questions is yes, and the question is truly your residual anger and level of love, I'd explore every avenue of reconciliation. Just for the record, this is the only time I've ever recommended reconciliation. And there is an update. The fact that you even want, or allowing, not allowing, but, like, accepting her doing all of this,
Yeah.
it's not healthy.
Not at all.
The fact that she's doing it, not healthy. The fact that you're like, yeah, I
course.
guess you can take a GoPro and record everything, not healthy.
And I'll watch you while you're at
Yeah.
work. Like, thanks for the offer. It's like, yeah, no. If anyone offers that to you, even if they
Yeah.
betrayed you and you don't trust them anymore, that
relationship is
You
over.
should not be
accept
okay
that.
with that.
And if you think that you need it, if you're like, yeah, I'm going to do that, relationship over. Update. She did everything right since D-Day a year ago. She really helped me get over the initial shock. She moved her inheritance, $250,000, to my account to prove she is not with me for money. Girl,
I
don't
hate
do
that
that.
so much.
Later, I moved the money to a kid's education fund account. I promised myself not to make an emotional decision, so I thought about everything for a year. Now I am not in shock anymore, and I think I can make a logical decision. I cannot let it go. She was my first and only, but she was shopping around with other guys while I was planning our future. I was very cold to her for 3 to 4 years after the first D-Day,
Oh my
and
God.
that probably made her do what she did, but there is nobody to blame but herself. Things got much better after we got married. I did therapy for a year and it helped me get over the initial shock, but at the end of the day, it felt like a brainwashing session. I'm sad, but I'm fine. I cannot find a way to forgive serial cheating and 20 years of lies. I will say, after that first time when she kissed someone else, and then you said that he was cold for 3 to 4 years.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I am not excusing any type of cheating.
Yeah.
However, to be cold to your partner for 3 to 4 years, just break up with them.
Just break up with them.
What?
This
Yeah, that
is-
relationship's not going to work out. 3 to 4
Yeah.
years is so long.
And your kids will pick up on that. So if you're doing that because you're just like, I'll stay here for the kids, even though it's not that good right now, the kids will notice
They'll
you being
notice.
cold to your
Mhm.
wife. Like, that's,
Not good.
this is a crazy relationship.
I would not lie to myself to do that, and I will not. So I'll see a lawyer and we'll start our separation with the separation agreement. She promised me she'll give me full custody and most of our assets. I promised her I'll help her out financially for a few years and let her visit the kids. One thing I cannot absolutely accept is her introducing a stepfather to them while I am still alive. I may get a condo for her. I have not told her this.
Right.
I hate that I promised her I'll help her out financially for a few years and let her visit the kids. She had $250,000.
$250,000.
She had $250,000. Why are we doing it like this?
It's cool for you to not keep that money and put it towards the kids, but also, like, maybe just give it back to her.
Just give it back.
Give it back to her. I think you should be denying all of this unhealthy
Yeah.
love bombing that she's trying to do.
Oh, this is terrible.
Because then now it kind of feels like you're a little bit in the wrong now.
I think so. That I may get her a condo. I have not told her this, but she gave me full control of the situation.
Oh
No.
my God.
And I know she'll follow through. What I'm doing is very controlling, but she had no problem abusing me for over 20 years, so I don't feel guilty.
That's the OP.
Stop.
I know I'm being super controlling, but like
Stop.
whatever. She
OP, this
cheated on
isn't
me.
Okay.
That is never okay.
But you know what is okay in my books? Listening to full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. But there is a little bit left to this story. Let's just dive right
Let's
in.
just do it.
But here is the problem. The kids, they are 5 and 7 years old and they're very happy. I'm not losing sleep over what she did, but I am losing sleep over what they will have to go through. I'm scared how divorce will change them. I'm absolutely not blaming myself for it, but I am genuinely concerned how it will change their lives. My wife has been an amazing mother and nobody can replace her, but I also cannot live my life like this. I hate her so much for forcing me to make an impossible decision. Does anyone regret divorcing your spouse because the kids are struggling? I know I would not have been me without my parents' unconditional love. OP, my advice again is to divorce her and then to let her live her life.
Yeah.
Without you're not her parent. You're not her warden. Let her live her life. Go to court. Split custody.
Yes.
You said she was a good parent. Let her be one.
Yeah.
Don't take her money from her.
Right. Even if she offered giving you full custody,
Should not have accepted that.
you should not have. Like, I'm okay with getting full custody of our children because you lied to me, and this is how you need to. This is your punishment for
Your
that.
punishment is you can't see your kids unless I say so.
Yeah, dude. Sure, she lied for 20 years, but I feel like what you're doing is ultimately worse. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
My boyfriend cheated with an escort while I'm pregnant. Oh, leave. Oh my gosh. And this comes directly from the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So this is one of our own out there. I, 25 female, am pregnant by my boyfriend, 28 male. Let's call him Junior. Last October, before our little week-long trip to California from the East Coast, while on the plane, I made a joke about him cheating. I meant nothing serious by it, but when I looked at his face, I saw guilt. I pressed the matter, and while we were on our second flight, he confessed to me that he had slept with the lady of the night a few weeks prior. Oh boy. Like legit cash for a spicy sleep. By the way, this comes from Radiant Shoulder 1691, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Angie.
And I'm Savannah.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We're just going to guess what we would do in this situation, so let us know what you would do in the comments. So OP says, I now had to spend a week with this man stuck in California doing activities with his family while we worked out logistics. I forgave him because I'm not about to hold that hate in my heart. We decided to work on our relationship and move forward. Moving on to January of this year, his mom let her friend host a mini Sweet 16 for her daughter at my boyfriend's house. Long story with that living arrangement. While I was in my boyfriend's room just chilling, the birthday girl and her 20-year-old cousin went up to my boyfriend and asked him if he wanted her. Immediately, he was like, that's disrespectful as F. My girlfriend is here, blah, blah, blah. Then he came and told me. Of course, I wanted to fight. But my boyfriend and I just stayed in his room for the rest of the night and watched a movie. The next day, I made it clear that I was going to talk to this girl and his mom with the help of his older sister. They all speak Spanish. While gearing up to talk to everyone, his sister and I found out that his mom had been making her friends and her friend's cousin comfortable with the idea that they could go after her 2 sons. My boyfriend and his brother, who at the time was just beginning to separate from his wife, to this day they are still married, separated but married. I told my boyfriend the only logical conclusion was that the girl who tried to get at him couldn't come over, no more parties could be hosted there, and his mom's friends needed to dress more appropriately when they came over. He agreed. His sister told his mom what's up, and she lost it on them. At the end of the day, I got what I wanted for like a month. The offender moved out of her cousin's house, the friends stopped hanging out, and for a while, they would dress appropriately if they came over. By the way, his mom is like in her 60s, and these friends are mid-30s to early 40s. After this, hanging out at his house just became toxic. I didn't want to be disrespectful towards his mom, but I'm the type of person who will cut significant people out of my life very quickly. Out of respect, I just say hello and goodbye when I see her, but I never start a conversation. With this turnaround and us working on trust, things between my boyfriend and I seemed better. A few weeks later, I found out that I was pregnant, and we were both excited. For context, Junior works out of state during the week and comes home on the weekends. From February to August, we took turns traveling back and forth seeing each other. Around mid-August, my pregnancy hormones got really strong and I started to feel very territorial. We share locations, have been since our first year of dating, currently going on 4. I didn't see him going anywhere odd. Sometimes he'd grab dinner with his bosses, but he'd always FaceTime me before they ate and again when he got back to his hotel. But of course, in the back of my mind, I kept thinking about how he had slept with the lady of the night and I didn't know it. I chalked my feelings up to pregnancy and decided to keep moving forward. Eventually, Junior told me that he was tired of working far away and wanted to be home with the baby and me. He let me know that he told his boss come the end of September, he would be taking 2 months off to get ready for the birth of his first child. Which brings me to where we are today. Last Friday was Junior's last day. Turns out that on Sunday, his mom's friends were moving out of her home so she could move back into her own home and out of Junior's home. Don't get too caught up on the living arrangements. Got it. At the end of the day, his mom is currently moving out of Junior's home back into her own. I felt so much relief and stress leave my body. Junior and I talked and figured out plans for the baby, made lists of things we needed to get this week, and started getting our hospital bag together. At this point, I am 2 weeks away from my due date. Well, on Sunday morning, I woke up very early to pee. I was spending the weekend at Junior's house, and for some reason, something came over me to go through his phone. Say what you want, but we both have each other's passwords. We both use each other's phones to watch videos on the toilet. I went to his photo app to recently deleted, and what did I find? A screenshot of him talking to some woman who was calling him baby. The conversation was very short. He said, "Talk to you soon." She said, "Okay, babe." He asked if she was busy, if he could call her. She said yes and sent him a number. He tried to FaceTime her, it didn't work, and that was all of the screenshot that I saw. I sent the screenshot to myself. I re-downloaded his Snapchat and Instagram. On Snapchat, I found conversations he was having with women towards the beginning of us dating. He was messaging women in July. We first met in April, had our first date a few weeks after that, and didn't make it exclusive until August. The only reason I had a problem with this was because when I asked him if he was talking to anyone else, he said no. In fact, he said a few days after he met me, he met some woman at a bar, but they didn't really hit it off. So why lie? We weren't exclusive in July, so just be honest. In these Snapchat conversations, he was talking about paying for hotel rooms and how these women looked, etc. On Instagram, that was a different thing. In his DMs, his friend and him would send videos back and forth of women who didn't look like me at all. These were dated around a year after we started dating exclusively. Seeing how they talked on Instagram, I wondered what their iMessages looked like. His friends would send him random pictures of women walking on the street or say things like, "I just met this bad thing." And Junior would respond with things like, "Let me pull up. That's what I'm looking for in my DMs." Or scrumptious. That one gave me a little bit of a nick. Taking pictures of random women on the street?
Yeah.
And sending it to your buds? Ooh.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, if I saw like a cute guy and I'm like, oh my god, like you.
Yeah.
Okay, wait, maybe. Maybe I would take a picture and be like, wait, look how cute. But
Yeah,
also
yeah.
like,
It's just weird.
I don't know.
They just don't seem to be very respectful of these women.
Yeah, when
so
men do it,
Yeah.
it's weird. When women do it.
we're
When I
much
send a
more-
picture, it's harmless.
yeah, do it in a respectful way. But yeah, also Junior would say things like, yeah, I'm gonna come over because this is what I've been looking for.
Yeah,
While
that's
he's in a
crazy.
relationship.
Yeah, for a year they were in a. I mean, at this point,
Yeah,
'cause they're going on 4 years or have been like 4 years.
yeah,
close to
exactly.
4. And this was their first year of dating,
Mm-hmm.
and he's like, oh, like that's what I'm looking for in my DMs. Like,
Yeah.
why are you looking for anything in your DMs?
Exactly. And they're sending like women sending like pictures and videos of women that don't even look like OP. That's another level of heartbreaking.
Yeah,
to
I'm
see.
sure that they're probably like, bikini or like swimsuit.
I'm
or,
sure.
like,
Yeah.
they're not covered. I know
Something,
that.
I'm sure. At this point, he was awake. I gave him his phone and started gathering my things to leave. The only thing I knew about was the screenshot of him talking to the lady of the night. He explained that he saw this woman at his hotel and she looked familiar. She looked like a lady from the Lady of the Night website that he had visited in the past. He cheated on me in Atlanta. This current situation was in Virginia, but I let him continue. He proceeded to say that he then went on the website, saw her, and reached out to her, but nothing happened. I said, I forgive you for the hurt that you just caused me. I need to leave. I left, and we haven't spoken about it since. At this point, I'm 37 weeks and 3 days pregnant. I've been pregnant for 262 days. We've had conversations about our wants for the baby, placenta encapsulation, exclusively breastfeeding, him staying at my house overnight for the first month to help me with postpartum, the baby taking his last name. I've kept strong beliefs that if you're not married, the baby gets the mom's last name. This was something we talked about, and he convinced me that he was serious about marriage. I told him he could propose at any time, but I'd want to get married after the baby comes, so I'd have time to heal and make this decision fully without all the hormones in me. Just all this stuff. Now, I just feel betrayed and angry. By the way, I would feel betrayed and angry if you didn't listen to full episodes with more stories just like this one. Just go to Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, or whatever your favorite podcast app is, and search OK Storytime. And there is a little bit more to the story, but please don't marry this man, OP. Please.
Yeah, don't marry this man because
No.
you've already been cheated on him, or he cheated on you once already and you forgave him,
Yeah.
and now he's just doing it again. So like obviously he didn't learn his lessons. Like, I could see, like, I don't tolerate any cheating. So like if
course.
someone were to cheat, I'd be like, okay, cool, go be with them. Like, what?
Yeah.
Why?
No, I'm going. I'm
Yeah,
out of here. Yeah.
Like, cool, then we don't need to be a thing. Like, I
Yeah.
don't want an open relationship. I would rather just be exclusive and just not have to worry about it. It's hard to worry about one person, let alone like 5.
right.
So like
Literally.
I don't need that.
Especially when his stories are changing too. It's like,
Yeah.
whoa, that means that we're lying. That just is what it means.
Yeah, it's not adding up, and
Yeah.
also I don't think that he really even is like sorry about it. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't seem like he's like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry, I'll change." Like,
Right.
I
He was
mean,
just
like-
like, oh, that person looks like someone that I messaged looking for a night of fun, Like,
yeah, like he just never
ugh,
really he doesn't
why
seem
is
like he
that-
has any remorse for what he's done. He's just like, "Oh yeah, like that happened, sorry." Not even sorry,
Yeah.
just, "Oh yeah, that happened." Like, okay.
So there is a little bit more to the story. I'm trying really hard to think about all of this because I don't want to go into labor early. I don't want my emotions to cause any complications with the baby. So far, everything seems fine, but my Braxton Hicks have increased in pain and frequency. Sleep the past 2 nights has been very uncomfortable. He's supposed to be in the delivery room with me, my push partner. Again, I'm trying not to let this affect me negatively, but I need to be very realistic right now. I just need some help and advice. And that's the end of that story.
My father's affair partner messaged me and it ruined our family.
Leave us alone!
Background on my family is that it's been pretty idyllic. My male 25 folks, father 50s male and mother 50s female, have always gotten on well, are strong communicators, parented myself and my younger siblings as a team, and were very good parents. My teenage years were a rough patch in my relationship with my father, but since I left for college at 18, we really began getting along. By the way, this comes from Nuclear Throwaway 1234. If you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Carly.
I'm Sophia.
And I'm Keon.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do, so let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, when I pictured a strong marriage, I pictured my parents, bar none. The other day, it all came crashing down. This entire story takes place over roughly an hour. I received a Facebook message request from a stranger. I've been trying to fill an empty spot in my apartment, so I was in the habit of accepting these requests and figured it was someone interested in the room. The initial messages were odd, however, broken English, small talk, no mention of an apartment. I then figured it was a scam of some sort, so I of course kept messaging the woman to see where it went and waste their time. Then she made a comment about my sister and said that her boyfriend talks about me and my sister all the time. I asked her who her boyfriend was. She replied, your dad. He doesn't talk about me?
Oh no.
At this point, I assumed I was being blackmailed or scammed. My father's career led him to a very high-profile corporate job with a massive international company, so it was definitely not out of the realm of possibility. Certainly, my father wasn't cheating on my mother. Then she sent photos. One of those tri-frame Instagram photos. Her on the beach with a man who no doubt was my father. Selfies with arms around each other, one with her kissing him on the cheek. I thought, okay, this could be real. Or that could be some younger female coworker who's just overly affectionate and dad indulged her in a selfie. This scammer found it and is using it.
OP is grasping for straws here.
I would have gone maybe AI before I went that route.
Yeah. Well, maybe this is
Older.
older.
Probably. Around this time, I started getting unprompted, unrelated texts from my father. How are you? How are things going? Etc. Odd timing, right? Thinking on my feet, I took a new approach. When she asked again if my father had mentioned his girlfriend to me, I quickly responded, yes, of course, sorry, I just wasn't sure which one you were. Me thinking that if this was a scam, saying my father was routinely unfaithful to my mother and dated multiple women at once removed their leverage. If this was real, then I'd throw a wrench in my dad's affair and force the truth out. Oh boy, did I get what I bargained for. The woman freaked out. Frantic questions about who this made up other woman was. I answered them all and concocted a story about a woman I'd met just a few months prior, who was from the country my father works in regularly. I made up a name and said my father had been dating women on the side for years, etc. She bought it entirely. The woman asked to speak on the phone, so I obliged. At this point, I realized this was real. The woman was in hysterics, sobbing about how she thought my father loved her, how could he do this, and so on. I kept playing it cool and acted sympathetic, spinning fiction that my father had been a player for years.
Why?
And that he was usually upfront with his girlfriends about seeing other women, and that I was so sorry she had to hear from me. This let me learn who she was and how long the affair had been going on. Then she asked if I'd be willing to be on a 3-way call with her and my father without his knowledge. I immediately said yes. Within 60 seconds, I was muted on a 3-way call listening to my father console this strange woman, who I had fully convinced was one of many side chicks, and explained to her that I was attempting to sabotage their relationship because of what I'd just learned. He didn't know that his father was cheating on his mother, he didn't know that his parents are getting a divorce, and now he's just learned that from a stranger, he explained. At this point, I hopped on the call and let him know that actually, I had learned about the divorce from him since his insecure girlfriend hadn't said anything about the divorce yet. He said, "Oh Christ," and I left the call.
Oh my God, what just happened?
I
OP's like, yeah, and I made her think that he was cheating on her with multiple people because I thought it was a scam. It's like, did you really think it was a scam?
I'm just kind of like, out of all the ways that we could have gone about that,
That's what
that's
I'm
a
saying.
crazy
This is
one
an
to pick.
insane way.
I feel like you still could have gotten that info that you wanted.
Yeah,
like
you probably could have asked her, and she probably would have given
you probably
it.
could have been like, oh, he doesn't talk about you much. Can you like how
Who
long
are
have you been
you?
with my dad? Like,
Yeah.
tell me a bit more. Like, I'd love to get
Yeah,
to know
Opie's
you.
like, I concocted this whole lie. Like, that's crazy. Sorry though. That
Yeah.
sucks that your dad cheated on your mom, and you're just finding
Hey.
this all out from his affair partner.
Except
Rough.
they've not really his affair partner because they're getting a divorce,
he
but it's just
cheated
not
on- yeah.
finalized. No, I
che-
don't think so.
Yeah, no. The dad said he's finding out that I cheated on his mom, and we're getting divorced.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You're right. Crazy. I called my mother immediately afterward to figure out what was going on. She let me know that the two of them had been going through the early stages of a divorce for several months, that it was amicable, and they both thought it best, and had plans to tell all three of us once things were more finalized. She said that she had only learned of the affair, however, a few days prior to this incident. The following morning, after a lengthy and heated discussion with my parents, I sent an email to both of them outlining why I was so hurt by this. I don't care about them getting divorced. I trust them to do it kindly and amicably. And they both seem intent on doing it that way as well. I did care about this insane woman thinking it was okay to contact me, my father probing me once he realized that I had been contacted by his girlfriend, my father consoling his girlfriend of over 3 months instead of contacting me once he realized that I knew about the affair, my father carrying on an affair and endangering his wife and children rather than just waiting until after the separation. Ultimately, I told my father not to contact me until I had reconciled what kind of relationship I want to have with him at this point. Here's where I need advice. I feel guilty about what I did. I immediately, ruthlessly, and effectively destroyed the relationship that my father had with this woman, who, for her part at least, seemed to really love him and feel loved by him. She is now convinced that he was cheating on her too. While it's obviously my dad's own fault for starting this relationship in secret while he was still with my mother, I still wonder if I destroyed something that could have been really good for my dad. I'm also kind of shocked at myself for being able and willing to manipulate people like that. I also don't know where to go from here. I am absolutely disgusted by my father and have lost a lot of respect for him. I'm not the one being cheated on, but I definitely feel like I've been put second fiddle to his girlfriend of over 3 months. The damage control should have been with his son, not his mistress, right? Even so, I love my father and have been building a wonderful relationship with him over the last 4 to 6 years especially. I don't want to throw all that away. I can't figure out in my head what it is I want him to say or do that will allow me to forgive him. I would love any thoughts on my behavior in this situation or how I can reconcile my love for my dad with this absolute loss of respect I have for him. We have some comments.
I have kind of like mixed thoughts.
Yeah.
On the one hand, I think your dad has betrayed your trust.
Yeah.
And I think you are very right, or at least very understandable, to feel angry and upset with him and to not know how to fix that relationship with him, even if it was once good. And so in that, concern, I think you just take time and see if he kind of takes responsibility for that, see if he makes the effort to rebuild that relationship, because the onus is not on you.
My whole thing with the affair partner
Yeah.
would be I have significantly less sympathy for her if she knew that he was married.
Same.
Because if she knew that whole time, then it's like, no, girl, like this was a horrible relationship.
Absolutely.
But if she had no idea and was genuinely like in the mindset of like, I am his one and only partner, he's divorced, that's...
Yeah, it is different.
Yeah. Relevant comments. Yensid7. I'm a little confused by these timelines. You said your father was with this new woman for a few months. You said your mother said they had been planning the divorce for a few months. It sounds like their relationship is already done. Do you know whether your father's new relationship started after they had agreed to a divorce or after they had already ended it? The reason I'm asking is because a divorce is just a legal proceeding to dissolve the marriage. Once they've agreed to the divorce, the relationship is done. Calling it an affair if it started after the previous relationship ended seems like a stretch. The timeline of a marriage and a relationship are usually not the same. A relationship usually begins well before a marriage and ends well before divorce. It would be like saying an affair isn't an affair if the couple is only engaged and not yet married. While it's not very classy to start any relationship that quickly, if he did, I could see why he wouldn't tell your mom, knowing it would probably hurt her to move on so quickly. Though in the case of a divorce after a long marriage, at least one of the two parties, many times both in an amicable divorce, usually has been done in their mind long before it got to the point of starting divorce proceedings. Opie says, after speaking with my parents individually and together, I've learned that the affair was happening before the divorce talks and separation had started. My folks have also still not yet engaged in any legal proceedings, just discussions with each other and their pastor. My mom also did not learn of the affair until nearly 3 months after it had started. Now, I did not know this at the time I made my decision, but in the aftermath, I've confirmed that it did indeed begin before the marriage had ended by any definition. The timing was indeed close. UBT 400 says, I can see both sides, honestly. He did something that completely broke your trust, kept it a secret, and consoled someone who's a complete stranger to you as you learned of the divorce from his own mouth. Meanwhile, you kind of walked right into that last one by accepting a 3-way call, then went nuclear. I understand that emotion can completely sweep people away, especially something big like affairs and divorce. But you are 25 years old. Silent 3-way calls are high school tier. If you want to fix this, reach out to your mom and talk it out with her first. Then reach out to your dad when you've got a better idea about what's going on. Explain to both of them that they should not have lied and hid this from you, and that this random woman contacting you hit you like a damned wrecking ball.
Yeah. And also tell them, like, she better not contact me again.
Yeah.
Like, this is totally unacceptable and entirely, like, just inappropriate of her to do.
Yeah, honestly, weirdest person
So
in the
weird,
story,
yes.
girlfriend reaching out.
So weird.
They shouldn't be surprised about how it played out. Your dad could have handled this whole thing way better, but then again, you could have as well. Opie says, well, sure, but again, I took this approach to confirm what was happening. At this point, I was not fully sure it wasn't a scam. Revealing myself on the call was absolutely an emotionally driven decision, though. Definitely not my most mature moment. My other point is that my dad clearly knew that I knew what was up before he accepted the call from his girlfriend, since he was sending me roundabout probing messages. I think that his response should have been to ignore his affair partner and contact me immediately and directly to explain the situation, especially since my mom was already aware of the whole thing, I learned later. Already taking these steps, I'm trying to figure out how to move forward from here. I don't want to lose my relationship with my father, but I'm struggling to see how I can forgive him for the deception and disrespect. We have an update 11 days later.
I don't think that you necessarily have to forgive him yet.
Yeah.
I think it's on him to make those amends. I think that you could potentially tell him how you feel
100%.
and be like, hey, this is where I'm at. I trusted you. You betrayed that trust. I want a good relationship with you, but right now I don't know if that's possible, at least, yet. Yeah.
11 days later. Since my post, a few things have happened. My parents spoke as a pair to each of our family members individually, my siblings, but also my aunts, uncles, grandparents, etc., to let them know about the divorce, the affair, and about what went down between me, my father, and this other woman. My family is pretty universally upset with my father. Not that I want everyone hating on him, but he did, at best, screw up royally, and it's good to know that no one is choosing teams instead of acknowledging who did wrong. My parents have both blocked this other woman from all phone lines and social media. This is in part why the rest of the family was notified, so that they'd be aware if this woman tried to make contact. After the above, we learned that this woman had attempted to contact my 17-year-old sister 24 hours before the events of my original post.
Yikes.
Well,
Yikes.
she's the real crazy
Yeah, she's a
one.
real issue.
That's nuts.
If I were the dad, I'd be like, we're done, man.
Like, she's
You're weird.
blocked.
You're weird.
My sister missed the messages and
Good.
didn't see them until after everything happened and was out in the open. Still not speaking with my father, but have talked with other family members about what's going on. As for how I'm feeling about the situation, any guilt that I had for what I did vanished the second I learned that this woman tried to contact my sister first.
Yeah.
While my response was to tear this whole thing apart as quickly and effectively as I could, I cannot imagine what my poor little sister would have gone through if she had contact with this woman. I'm livid that she thought this was even remotely appropriate, and I'm livid that my father at any point thought this was a safe or stable person to involve himself with. Therefore, I don't feel even a little bit guilty about what I did any longer. By the way, you guys can hang out with us longer by listening to full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, search up OK Storytime. Got a little bit more. Heck yeah. Any other thoughts?
I mean, yeah, this woman is clearly, I don't know what she was thinking.
Or what they
seem-
even, like, what if Opie did know about her? What was she
Yeah.
gonna say?
I have
Like,
no idea what her
She-
thought process
I
here
guarantee you,
was.
she's like, "Oh my gosh, we're moving so fast. Like I'm your mom. Like,
yeah.
I'm
I feel like she was very delusional.
like I'm part of the
Maybe wanting
family,
to, like,
guys.
meet for
Call me mom."
something.
Yeah, that's
I don't
definitely
like
what she
it.
was thinking.
I don't
She's
like it. I don't like it one bit.
Not one bit. I'm staying no contact with my father until I sort through what I want to hear from him, and seeking counseling to talk through how my anger in this moment and at this situation is undoubtedly linked in all sorts of messy ways to my upbringing and etc. Crazy how hard it is to find a licensed professional counselor with a less than 3-month waiting list, but I'll get there. Thanks again for the great comments on my original post. It really helped me judge which of my feelings were valid and where I needed to take a break. I think I'm in a better place now, but of course would love to hear any further advice and similar stories that y'all think might be helpful or answer questions. Cheers. That's the end of that story.